Hello everybody. We're doing a little bit of on-stream grinding today. It's basically just going to be like a chat stream. I'm going to talk a little bit about Lunatic Plus, talk about grinding in this game mode, how you do it, like if you should grind or not, if you want to. If you do want to grind, I recommend just doing it. It's not going to really ruin the experience because Lunatic Plus is so hard that you can't really grind past the point where it makes it where it takes away the difficulty, because the difficulty is really the enemy skills, not the enemy stats. Now, obviously, there's probably a tipping point, but it would take you hours of grinding to get to that point. I'm talking about like raising Sully up from level 2 to like, you know, level 7, so she's the same level as the rest of your party, rather than leaving her as a level 2 unit. On that note, on the next map that I have planned, I'm going to do like a clear without grinding, but I'm also going to set up a separate file to show, you know, this is basically what I'm doing today, is I'm setting up my grinding file. I'm going to use this file to show how you would do the map with grinding. So first of all, one of the things that would really help is having Lonku and Sully get at least a C support, and having Frederick and Sumia get at least a C support, which they don't have yet. So I'm going to do that. Now I want to look at Stall, and I'm going to explain my problems with him as a unit. He basically, like, if I wanted to train Stall right now, I could give him levels, but it would be very difficult for me to build supports with him in a very meaningful way. The reason I say this is because Muriel is a magic unit, Lissa is a magic unit, Sumia he cannot pair with. Hey, some oak viewing account. Thanks for stopping by. We're just doing like a chat stream today where I'm going to talk about Lunatic Plus and do some grinding on stream. I'm not going to use grinding to get past Chapter 5 in my main file. I'm just setting up a separate file so I can show people how you would do grinding if you were going to do it. So anyway, so Stall's only option, basically, for an early game pair-up is literally Sully herself. But every single character in the early game wants to pair with Sully. Chrom wants to pair with Sully. Stall wants to pair with Sully. Vake wants to pair with Sully. Lonku wants to pair with Sully. Virion wants to pair with Sully. Frederick wants to pair with Sully. Like, she has 5 other options that she can choose from, and Stall only has one option, and it is Sully herself, who could choose between 5 other guys. Like, there's just no competition when it comes to, like, who's the better supporting unit. So what you can do, however, is you can do Stall and Chrom. They can C-support each other. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to give him, I guess I'll give him the bronze sword that Robin isn't currently using, so him and Chrom can build support. So I'm going to be training Stall, Chrom together to build supports. I'm going to do Sully and Lonku to build supports. I'd rather get levels onto Lonku while building support between them, but I guess I should probably get at least a couple levels onto Sully. And then Sumia and Frederick while leveling up Sumia. Aside from that, like, I don't really need to train anyone else. I'll do Robin with Virion, just so that Virion can get a little bit of experience. Ferris or non-Ferris grinding, and with appropriate PPE. Okay, well, I know Ferris is talking about iron. Assuming you're talking about the same thing as me. I have no idea what PPE is. Parts per something. I have no idea what you're talking about. Alright, so for the first grind, we're going to use Golden Gaffe. This is a map that you can use to... hold on a second. I gotta remember to do something. This is going to be my main file that I'm never going to change or update. This is going to be my grinding file. So file 3 is going to be our grinding file. And then we're going to leave this one alone, and we're going to come back to this later when we do no grinding. Okay. Another thing about this game is that there's a record column. There's nothing there right now because we haven't done it yet, but you'll be able to see like which maps I've used for grinding. And so when I go back and I do my no grinding run, I will show that this is a file where because on this file right here, I have never grinded on any maps. You can see all of my records are blank. After I start grinding, the records are going to fill in, and then you'll be able to see that grinding was done on this file. So you can always tell if somebody has done grinding or not. So anyway, for the first map, we're going to do Golden Gaffe. Here you can get gold, weapon ranks, support points, while gaining a little bit of experience. So this is really good if you're just trying to build up supports and get a little bit of funds, which is what basically the 2 things that we're trying to do. Personal protection equipment, gloves, aprons, goggles. Ooh, game grinding. I don't know why I have no idea. I had no idea what you're talking about, but fair enough. All right, so we're gonna take out Chrom. We're not going to need Lissa for this, probably. So Stall, Chrom, Sully, Lonku, Virion, Robin, Frederick, and Sumia, and then I guess we'll just do Vake and Lissa. Now what you want to do when you start Golden Gaffe is identify low-level enemy units that your characters, like our characters, cannot fight this Trickster. He would double and kill everybody, so we can't really fight him, we can't get his gold. But these Dark Mages, like especially the level 1 Dark Mages, you can usually one-shot these guys, or at the very least, if they don't kill you, you can kill them pretty easily. The other thing is that the enemies here do not have Lunatic Plus skills, even in Lunatic Plus mode. The Barbarian with the short axe is kind of difficult, but the one with the iron axe is pretty easy. So let's put our character that we're training... so first of all, let's put Sumia over here, so she can fight the Dark Mages. We're going to put Frederick over here, because we want him to be boosting her physical stats, and we want them to be building support ranks. I'm going to put Lonku over here, because he's a sword fighter, and I want to match him up against these guys with the axes. And we're going to put Sully... It's actually better to put Sully in front and Lonku behind. That way, Lonku can pair up with her and use her faster movement to get as far as he needs to go. Stall is going to go over here. We will switch him to the front position. We'll put Chrom behind him, and then we're going to put... This is a little bit tricky. How do we match up Robin and Virion together? I guess I would do it this way. This should be fine. It's usually not super important. You just have to be careful you don't let your units die, but the enemies here won't attack you, they will only defend themselves, so you usually don't have to worry too much about getting killed. Okay, so we want to kill this guy for sure, with Sumia. So let's start and figure out how we would do that. I'm going to make sure Frederick has no weapons equipped. I actually don't want him to dual strike here. We could actually reach and attack the enemy, but it would be a very big waste of javelin charges, especially because we cannot get any more right now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to split them up. The reason you split them up is so that you can have them pair up together and then move further in whichever direction you want them to move. Okay, the next thing we have to do is we need to find out how far Chrom can move and make sure that Stall can reach him. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Stall is going to be standing right here. I'm going to move Virion towards the center, and Robin towards the center. I'm basically only going to have Virion attack. I'm not going to have Robin attack. Robin's level is already high enough. We don't need to grind them anymore. And then Vake and Lissa can move towards the center. Okay, same thing we did on the left-hand side with Chrom. We're going to be putting Lonku here, and then we just have to make sure that he can reach Sully. I'm actually going to put Sully over here so the enemies don't surround her. The enemies have pass, and we don't have pass, which means they can surround us and block our movement. Okay, perfect. If we can get onto the left side of him, which we cannot do, can we actually just defeat him? One versus one, we actually can. I'm thinking of doing that, but I would actually rather build... Okay, here we go, we can do it. No, we can't do it. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't do this in a way that I want to do, but it's not a huge deal. What I need to do also is get a bronze sword for Lonku. If you're going to use grinding, what you should do is buy bronze weapons for grinding. The annoying thing about the grinding maps in this game is they always have character dialogue. Like, the characters will always talk about random stuff every time before they attack. So we got a level. You don't get boosted experience in Golden Gaffe, we just happen to be close enough to level up. Lonku gaining levels is good. His consistency is very important on the next map. Hold on, let's do it this way. His consistency is very important on the next map. Just like this. And so any extra stats you can get onto him are good. If you're not doing a grinding run, what you can do is have him fight enemies in pair log 1 to gain some stats. You can also have him pair up with Sully whenever possible. I don't think it's actually possible for them to get a support rank before Chapter 5, so this is really only something you can do on a grinding run, is get a support between him and Sully. Okay, I had a feeling this was going to happen. The enemies, this guy right here moved to block our path, so we can't reach the guy that we actually want to fight, who's actually over here. We could give Sumia 1 extra point of movement. What about going this way? It just doesn't work. We can't get as far as we need to go. Okay, we're just going to back up. And hope that the enemy doesn't exactly move into the one tile that blocks the space that we want to go into. Okay. we're in a little bit of a better position now. This guy is level 10. I don't think Stall can kill him, but I think Stall can fight him safely. If we can get rid of this crit rate. Is there another guy we can fight? What about this thief? Okay, so this is a good example. Like, Chrom can fight this guy. This guy can't even damage him. So let's just do this. This is also going to build support rank between him and Stall. Stall could potentially dual strike, which he did. That gets us some extra gold. Can we fight this shaman? We'd have to risk a crit, which I don't really particularly want to do. So let's go like this. Let's back up a little bit. Make some space. Can we fight this guy? We actually can. So let's do it this way. And then next turn we'll probably kill the other guy. I wish I had a bronze lance instead of an iron lance. That's okay, because I'm grinding anyway, I can just buy another iron lance. And we level up. We actually got Sumia a lot of experience on the previous map. Normally she would not be level 5 already. We would like just be getting her to level 3 right now, even with grinding. But we hyper-focused on training her last chapter. Okay. Let's see if there's anyone Lonku can safely fight. We can actually fight this guy. I'm gonna give him the bronze sword, though. This guy actually, I can actually fight this guy with... I can actually fight this guy with Virion if I could figure out how to do it. This guy right here, I could fight him with Virion. I would go like this. Switch. Transfer over Sully. And then attack. Because he has no ranged option, I can actually just hit him for chip damage. And then get a little bit of chip experience. And also we step on a shiny spot. And get a Wolt bow. I think that's like a... I think it's like a D rank bow. Let me check. No, it's a C rank bow. Oh, interesting. It's one of the ones you can use to heal yourself. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Yes, I'm gonna trade with her and get the bronze sword, so I'm not wasting Roy Blade charges, because the Roy Blade is a little bit more valuable. And then I guess she can just build Lance rank. Alright, we can actually kill this guy with the Sully pair-up. That gave us, I guess, the extra attack that we needed. So Lonku gets another kill. Once again, he's not getting boosted experience here, he's just getting normal experience. Next I can do... I don't want Robin to attack. I wonder if Vake can hit this guy safely. Not super safely, but I can do something like this. This might be able to lower my crit rate to 0. Yes, so I can fight this guy safely, he can't crit me. Just get some chip experience on Vake. Perfect. Okay. Typically by this turn there's not much left to do. But it's not always completely hopeless. Where's Stall? Here he is. Another thief. I wonder if Chrom can fight this thief or if it's better for Stall to fight this guy. Callum's going to be the better unit in the long term, so I'm going to do this. Yes, just get some more chip experience for hitting a thief. The guy, I literally cannot damage Callum, so it doesn't matter. There's no risk involved. Alright, we could kill the level 10 guy and get more gold, I think, is the better play. Yes. I'm actually going to start pairing up with Frederick now, because I don't really need to make any more space. Hey Mike, thanks for stopping by. We're just doing just basically a chatting stream today, and I'm going to be setting up my grinding file for my Lunatic. I'm going to do two separate files. I'm going to do a regular file and a grinding file. So I'm setting up my grinding file. I figured I would just do it on stream while chatting. So I guess let me know what's going on today, because I don't have anything particularly else to chat about. So we go for that guy, we get 3,000 gold, and then next turn we'll be able to get this guy and get a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra experience with Sumia. There's a good chance Lonku can actually fight this guy, but he can't reach him. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to switch Sully into the front. No way we can fight that guy. He's going to hit us for 41 damage. Can I hit tech this guy? I'm going to chip this guy down with Virion because he can't damage me anyway. Make sure I don't waste any fire tomes. This might actually allow Vake to get the kill, perhaps? Right now, we can only allow Vake to attack someone if he can hit them safely without getting killed in return. So like here, we could actually attack again with Vake, surprisingly. We might be able to get another 3,000 gold from this guy next turn if we're able to get enough damage. I'm not using Robin for training, I'm just using them for repositioning other units. You had dinner with your dad for Father's Day. Oh, that's good. Now, Stall can fight this guy. I wonder if I can chip him down enough using Robin so that Stall can get the kill. It doesn't seem to be the case. She could definitely kill this guy if she could reach him. But nobody else can get rid of this guy, so okay, let's just have Sumiya kill this guy. I need a Bronze Lance. Make sure I remember to do that before the next grinding session. I didn't even know today was Father's Day, to be honest. I'm really bad at keeping track of any kind of holidays. I usually only know my own birthday and I know Christmas. That's basically it. I don't like this crit rate, but we can actually get rid of it if we move like this. We can't attack with Virion, but we can do this. Oh, that actually still has a crit rate because of the short axe, but I think Lanku would be safe. Yeah, even if he crits Lanku is still safe. If we get a crit, or if Sully dual strikes, we get the kill here. No dual strike, that's fine. We're actually building support between these two so that they will get a dual strike later on in Chapter 5. There's a dual strike we want them to get, so getting them to rank C is very important. You're pretty bad for tracking holidays as well. Yeah, the only one I know, I think genuinely speaking, the only holiday that I know is my own birthday and Christmas. And I'm not even like 100% sure about Halloween. Like, I know it's at the end of October, but I can never remember exactly which day. We actually can't attack this guy safely, like, with anybody. So, let's just do this. Since we're gonna have money to buy stabs anyway, we might as well just get experience onto Lissa. That's going to give us 1 extra range with our rescue staff, because it's half of your magic. So when you go from 11 to 12 magic, you get 1 extra range. And then we're going to go like this. And I don't like this crit rate. There's no way to get rid of it right now either. Alright, let's just do this then. We're going to put Stall in the lead. And then next turn, Stall can kind of run wherever he needs to. Most of the enemies will escape. Sometimes there's like 2 stragglers left on the final turn, which is kind of what you see right now. Okay, can we fight this guy? Yes, we can, actually, completely safe. So let's do this. This. Same as last time, I think if we get a crit or if Sully dual strikes, we get the kill here. No, because of Nosferatu. Because we healed Vake last turn, he might actually be able to attack this guy. Yes, he can if we want him to. What about Stall? Halloween is the very last day of October, October 31st. Okay, I usually can never remember if it's the 30th or the 31st. That's kind of what always trips me up. Okay, because this guy has a crit rate against Stall, we're gonna go over here and just attack here. This guy can't kill Stall. We can't kill him either, but it's fine. We're just getting chip experience, support ranks, and weapon ranks. And I don't think Sumiya can fight this guy safely. No. We could have Frederick kill this guy for 3,000 gold, but it's not worth it. I'm just gonna go like this instead. Yeah, he actually got more out of standing on that shiny tile than he would have gotten. And we'll do this again. Perfect. And then we just let the remaining enemies escape. So even just doing that one time, like I only did that one time, and that alone will give you a massive boost to the power of your army. Just going to Golden Gaffe one time before doing Chapter 5 will just give you such better consistency on your Chapter 5 clear. We're going to grind a little bit more than that, but I just want to show the difference. So first of all, we got a ton of support points and support ranks. We got Sully and Lanku. This will give them way more consistency in the next chapter. We got Sumiya and Frederick. That's going to give them way more consistency on the next chapter. We got Lissa with Vake. That's a good long-term pair-up. I know I talked about how Stall doesn't really want to pair up with any of the magic units, but Vake and Lissa is actually a good pairing. because Lissa gives him the resistance that he needs to serve as a primary tank. Without Lissa, he can primary tank, but he gets immediately shredded by any magic units. But with Lissa, he can actually primary tank pretty well, as long as there's not too many enemy mages in the group. And then we also got up to B rank with our Virion support, which is useful. It actually makes Virion better than Rob. Like, it helps Virion more than it helps Robin, but it's better than not doing anything. Okay, so let's actually buy some bronze weapons for the characters who are grinding now. And also we had about 1,500 gold, now we have over 8,000 gold, so this just gives us like the money that we need to buy extra supplies for grinding, like if we wanted to, which of course we want to. So first of all, let me make sure that I can get a heal staff for Lissa. The shops might all be blocked. You can also, after you beat the paralog, you can buy iron weapons for everybody, which is a big deal. You think it's funny whenever you see a unit who has 0 in a stat. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I'm actually going to buy, because this is going to be our grinding file, I'm actually going to buy an extra rescue staff because they're so good on Lunatic Plus. We might as well get it while we're here. I'm also going to buy these 2 iron weapons because they're on sale. If you ever see Anna selling weapons that are on sale, that are like weapons that you would normally use, it can be a good idea to pick them up while you can. I'm going to go over, yes, here to get a... No, I have a Thunder Tome already. Yeah, okay, let's get our bronze weapons for grinding first. I really wish I could buy a Wind Tome. I'm not going to need extra Fire Tomes anytime soon. Yes, so like this right here, for example, I don't want to waste my forged iron bow charges on grinding. I don't want to waste like my iron lance charges and my javelin charges on grinding. I'll get an extra bronze sword for him. Sully needs one too. Because we have so much money, we can afford to just buy like a bunch of extra weapons, especially bronze weapons for training. Stall, I'll get him a lance so he can grind lance rank. Chrom doesn't need anything. Muriel, give her a fire tome. And then, I guess that's everything? Elise Fates with 0 skill comes to mind for the 0 in a step. Really, Elise has 0 skill in Fates? I didn't know that at all. That's absurd. I'm also thinking of buying a couple extra iron weapons just because they're better than bronze weapons. And iron weapons, in my opinion, are one of the best for early game, like forging. Because when you forge an iron weapon early on, it helps you, like, it will pay returns for the entire, like, for the rest of the run. Like, for the entire rest of the run, you will continue to get value out of this iron weapon that you forged. It's just so good. It's only D rank, so anybody can equip it. It has, like, the perfect mix of, like, base power and hit. And then you add additional damage onto it. It's almost like, it's not as good as a silver weapon, but it's almost like getting an early silver weapon. And it has 40 charges. So like the money that you spend forging this gives you more damage than you would get from buying like a bunch of strength tonics. Instead, you just get the 2 damage from paying to forge the weapon one time. I think I'll wait until after we do our grinding and we're setting up our inventory to see which iron weapons I want to forge. I'm going to do Golden Gaffe one more time. So you can see now, I have a record entry here. This shows that I've done grinding on this file. So when I go back to my main file, you'll be able to see that I've done no grinding. On this file, you can see that I have done grinding. I'm going to do Golden Gaffe one more time, and then I'm going to show off exponential growth. Bartra in FE7 has 3 speed. It's not 0, but it might as well be for him. I showed this during the last stream, but Donald actually has 3 speed and I think 2 skill at base. He's just unbelievably bad as a unit. Alright, let me make sure I actually get the bronze weapons into the inventories now, for like Sumia in particular. Yes, and Lonku is fine, Sully's fine, Vake is fine, Callum and Stall are fine, okay. The annoying part, honestly, is that every time you come in here, you have to skip all the same cutscenes that you've already watched, and then you also have to set up the position of your units every time. Alright, so let's find the units that we can actually fight. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with Sumia on the left side, because there's a Dark Mage over here that she can fight. And then if there's any sword guys over here, Thieves are fine too. Yes, there's a sword guy here with a hand axe too. Hand axe is really good. So we're going to put Lonku here. No, we're not. We're going to put Sully there. We're also going to put Stall and Callum on this side. So where's Callum? He's here. We're going to move Sully over to the right side. Here she is. Sully here. And then we're going to switch her into the lead so that her and Lonku can reposition as needed. Okay, Vake, Lissa. Yes, this looks good. I usually save before I start just in case I make a mistake. Your units can permanently die in this game mode while grinding, so you have to be very careful you don't accidentally just let units die for no reason. It's even when you're grinding, just save before you go into battles. So the same thing as last time, you just see how many positions Chrom can move, and then you put the Cavalier at the end of his range. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would put stall right here, and this allows us to use stall to reposition Chrom next turn. This is one of the reasons why armors are better in Awakening than basically they've ever been before. Mike, I always forget that there are Thieves in Awakening. Oh yeah, they're actually pretty interesting. I think they're a really interesting game mechanic because Awakening doesn't have villages, but the way Thieves work in this game is very similar to how villages work in other games. They're almost like moving treasure tiles. And you need to have like but instead of just having a unit who just like goes to the village and gets treasure for free, you have to be able to catch the thief and be strong enough to actually kill them. Have enough mobility to catch up to them, etc. So they're really cool. I like the way Thieves are used in this game a lot. Okay, we're not going to make the same mistake as last time. We're going to put these two over here so they can fly wherever they need to next turn without units blocking my way. Okay, this looks pretty good. There's a guy with a hand axe over here too we can probably fight with Virion. What about the higher level guys? So yeah, this guy's only got a silver axe, which means we could actually attack him with Virion. Like this, if we wanted to get more chip experience. Oh, not like that. Okay, switch. So we're going to attack this hand axe guy. He can't do anything to us. Make sure you use the bronze bow. Don't waste your forged iron bow charges on this guy. Yes. I'm going to do this and leave Frederick separate from Sumia this turn so they can move further next turn. He has a 1% crit rate, but if he crits us, we don't die anyway, so this is fine. If I paired up with Frederick here, I could have actually guaranteed the kill, because I would have had more attack power, but it's fine. Like I said, we're just grinding for gold here anyway. Alright, this hand axe guy, I would like Lanku to kill him if I can. I think with the extra damage from Sully, I can. So we're going to get 2 extra attack power from Sully. That's going to allow us to one-round this guy. Yes, the power of the Sully pair-up. Once again, the guy has a 2% crit rate, but if he crits us, we survive anyway. There you go. Since we already got our C support, we actually don't really need to do much else to get ready. This file is like almost ready compared to a grinding versus no grinding file. We've already made a significant difference. Like we've already massively increased our odds of success just by getting the C support between these two. Getting the C support between these two, and then getting like 1 extra level onto Lanku alone just makes a huge difference. Alright, is there anyone that Stall can fight this turn? Or Chrom? We don't want these two to fight, but we can actually do this. Yeah, same as last time. Chrom can fight these guys. These thieves, they can't damage him at all. The problem is next turn the thief will get so far away from him, he won't be able to follow up with the kill. Yeah. Oh, he actually can. Interesting. But we don't have enough damage. Alright. Well, let's have Lanku attack this thief. If he crits me, I actually would die here, so let me do this. Not that. You gotta be very careful not to click too recklessly. Alright, go like this. This should reduce the crit rate to 0. Yes, by having Chrom next to us. Unfortunately, we can't double the thief, so we're just gonna damage him. So basically, we're gonna have 2 damaged thieves on this side. Next turn, hopefully we can catch up to one of them and kill one of them. Over here, we're going to damage another thief with chip damage. So this is setting up a lot of thieves that we can potentially kill on the next turn. I'm going to do this. Let's move Frederick first. That way we get a support point. Every little tiny little support building counts. It all helps build towards those C supports, which make a huge difference. Sumi up to level 6 already is absolutely insane, by the way. Usually she'd be like level 3 at this point. Okay, I'm gonna put these two in the middle. They can potentially enemies have pass, but you can still block their movement if you're standing in the exact square where they want to go. Leave this guy alive because he's further back. So whenever you're grinding, whenever you're doing Golden Gaffe and Exponential Growth, you want to leave the enemies alive who are further behind and kill the ones who are further ahead. This increases the number of enemies you can kill, because like if we kill this guy now, this guy might escape this turn before we can catch him. It actually doesn't matter with these two guys, but it's still good practice to just always do it this way. Another Another 1,000 gold. Okay. Nice. We can get this guy. I'm actually gonna have Sully kill this guy. Because her gaining extra levels is also gonna help us in the next turn. Plus, her having more movement is gonna be better for the next turn as well. Same thing here. If Stall can kill this guy, I would like for him to do it. He can. So let's put Kellum here. Have Stall go here. Stall go for this kill. It's actually, he has guaranteed accuracy when Kellum's next to him. It's funny how skipping the enemy phase makes the enemies look like they're teleporting. Yeah, I'm the kind of person who I get very impatient when playing games, so I turn off all the animations if I can. I set the game speed like to maximum if I can. I just really don't like sitting around and waiting for enemies to make their moves. A little bit more on Lissa. How did you say Thieves worked here again? So the way they work, they kind of remind me of villages. Like if you look at the GBA games, normally there's a village on a tile. You want to walk one of your characters over to the village, and when you visit the village, you get like gold or an item or something. Thieves in Awaken are very similar to that. They typically are carrying gold or carrying a valuable item. They usually have pass, and they usually try to run away from you. So what it really does is it's almost like a village that can move around instead of just sitting in one spot. You have to catch up to a thief who can move 5 or 6 tiles, and you need a unit who's fast enough to catch them and strong enough to kill them. And if you can do all that, then you're rewarded with an item, which is more difficult to do than just like walking up to a village and pressing visit. This would be Vake's death. Vake can't do anything, so I'm just going to move him here for repositioning next turn. Okay, so just like last time, there's usually a couple of stragglers left. It's not any enemies that we can fight this time, so we're just going to let them go. No, actually, we can fight this guy. Well, maybe I should have kept Vake over here in that case. So we'll have Virion chip him down first. Should be safe. Yes, it is. Now, I don't know if Sumia can actually fight him because he has a steel axe. He would hit her for 18, but if we do this, we can actually eliminate the crit rate. So I think she'll be totally safe here. Yes, there's no crit rate here, and we actually double him. Almost enough to get the kill. It's crazy. Which Fire Emblem games have you played, by the way? Have you actually played the GBA games that I'm talking about, or am I just talking nonsense? Get a little bit of extra training, and we'll just end the turn and let the other guys escape. Oh, this guy's actually still alive. Cool, we can follow up with the kill then. A little bit of extra experience on Sumia. So yeah, these 2 visits, just going to Golden Gaffe 2 times, is like, takes your units from like C tier to like B tier, and that might not sound like a lot, but it really is a big difference. Right. You have played FEA, but not the other GBA games. I really like FEA. You should definitely try FE7 at least. FE6 is pretty hit or miss. Some people don't like it. I do like it, but I'm not going to tell people to play something just because I like it. I think they should play it if I think they are going to like it. You should definitely play FE7 though. And then if you like it, you could also check out FE6 eventually. We get another support. This time we got the Stall and Kellum support, increasing their consistency a little bit. We're not actually going to have them fighting together, probably. There's not enough deployment slots to really use Stall. There's always like somebody else who's going to contribute more to the team. So right now we could probably go into Chapter 5 and say like we grinded, we made the run more consistent, and we're ready. But I do still want to show off exponential growth. So let's think about who would be the best beneficiary for like an extra level. So I think Lanku and Sully could both use 1 extra level. Virion getting an extra level also helps, and Vake getting an extra level also helps. Getting more levels onto Sumia is never bad, so that's 5 deployment slots right there. I guess for the remaining one, yeah, there's not really anybody else. I guess we could get a level onto Chrom. So let's try to get a level onto all of these units. From what you've heard, FE7 is actually more hit or miss than FE6. Really, that's interesting. FE7 used to be like in my opinion, used to be like the most beloved game in the series for the longest time. It was pretty much the one game that everybody liked. Because for a lot of people, it was their first Fire Emblem game. But I guess enough time has passed that that's not really true anymore. For a lot of people now, either Awakening or Three Houses was their first game. Anyway, this is exponential growth. This map, every unit that you kill essentially gives you enough experience to gain 1 level. Although that's not technically true. But if you're fighting like the units that you're capable of fighting or killing. So we're trying to get levels onto Lonku, Sully, Virion, Sumia, Vake, and Chrom. I'm not going to be as worried about building supports anymore because we've already kind of built all the supports that we needed. It's good to have your high mobility units in a position where your other units can pair up with them, and then your other units can kind of rescue chain each other so that they can go further across the map. I guess I will put Chrom and Sumia near each other just because there's no reason not to. The gimmick of this map, however, is that the enemies all have counter. Or not all of them, but the higher level enemies have counter. That's right, it's just the higher level ones. The higher level enemies have counter, so once your units get to a high enough level and you need to fight these guys to get experience, you have to be careful about how you fight them so you don't accidentally kill yourself while trying to grind. The lower level guys are usually pretty safe to fight, now that I remember it. Let's just jump right into it. Well, I want to save first. Yeah, save first just in case, and then we're going to jump right into it. But yeah, and then I think a lot of people definitely have a different opinion of FE7 now than used to be in the past. But FE6, in my opinion, is just a game that has always been kind of looked down on because of the low hit rates and other stuff like that. Because Roy's very weak, because the game's very hard, but in a way that doesn't always feel fair or fun. Gonna do this. Gonna start rescue chaining our units towards the center. No, I'm not. I kind of messed up there. What I was supposed to do was move Chrom over here. We'll just do this then. We'll do another round if we need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gonna allow us to move Chrom as far as we need to. I guess Lonku will just fight something by himself. Okay, so then you go like this. I'm actually gonna do it this way. Transfer. And then go like this. And then I'm going to actually go like this. Because we're not going to be able to reach any enemies this turn anyway. Ooh, weapon proficiency. She can actually use the Killer Lance now. That's very important. If you can get Sumia up to C rank, she can use the Killer Lance, which is almost as good as a Silver Lance, but you just get it early on with only C rank needed. The one reason that, in fact, I would actually say that in the long term, Killer Lances are one of the best weapons. They're even better than Silver Lances in some ways. However, they're actually more expensive. So that's like the one reason not to use Killer Lances over Silver Lances isn't because they're weaker, but it's actually because they're more expensive. I'm surprised we can't actually kill this guy. He also has Miracle, so we have to be very careful. I actually don't want to fight the one with Miracle. I'm going to fight this one instead. When you're fighting the lower level ones and you're still weak enough that they can kill you or damage you, you have to be careful not to fight the ones with Miracle, because sometimes... Oh my god, that's a fantastic level for Lonku. Sometimes they will survive with Miracle, and then they can kill you on the counter hit. So even though this is like a grinding map, it's not 100% free. There's always like tiny reasons or tiny things that you need to pay attention to so that you don't accidentally let your units get killed. Okay, this Lonku is a beast. Like so Lonku at base can absolutely handle Chapter 5. We got, I think, 2 or 3 extra levels onto him, so he's just going to be able to do the same things that he could do, but just more consistently, basically. It's just Lonku, but with just more consistency. For this, I think I'm going to go... Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to let Chrom get this, because Sumia already got a bit of experience. Nice, we got experience onto both anyway. Chrom gets a ton of experience. We'll have Virion start chipping this guy down. You do get pretty good chip experience on these guys too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, good. Well, a little bit more than 10 experience, in fact. Okay, now let's see what we're going to do on this side. The problem is there's actually not a lot of enemies we can safely fight. We could probably fight this guy right here. Let's do it this way. 14, we can take. Yes.
Yeah, I rule.
And then this also gives Sully a chance to attack as well. Yes, and I think if Vake dual strike, she might even get the kill here. Nope, not quite. Pretty close though. That actually softened him up enough that I think we can finish him next turn. We'd actually double this guy too, that's crazy. I think actually with Vake's attack power bonus, we would actually kill that guy. Let's see. Yeah, we can actually kill this guy next turn, which is nuts. Alright, so if that's the case, let's do this. Go here, attack the guy who's further ahead, and then next turn, we'll finish off the other wounded guy. So Sully's actually going to gain 2 levels here. And we will use Sully for the next turn. However, the only stat of Sully's that actually matters is her, is her strength and her skill stat. If she gets extra points of strength, it will allow her to deal more damage on her dual strikes, which we need her to dual strike at least 1 time in the next chapter. And if she gets more skill, it will increase her chance of landing a dual strike, although not by very much. So those are kind of the 2 reasons why you want to get experience and levels onto Sully early on. Can Chrom fight this guy safely? He actually can. Sick. So let's do this. Yeah, a lot of times, like, your best units, when they're around level 6 or 7, they can actually fight the level 20 Risen, which is kind of nuts. And with the dual strike, we got the bonus experience. That's another level for Chrom. Another power boost for Sumiya. So when we go into the next chapter, we'll actually be, like, a high enough... we'll be able to start gaining more levels right away. Now, unfortunately, the enemies have 6 movement, so Lonku can never catch up to them again. We can fight this last straggler right here, which we set up this kill last turn. Since we got D rank lances already, I'm going to start grinding sword rank, although this guy has sword breaker. So I will use the lance here just because this guy has sword breaker. But in general, I'd rather train my sword rank here, if I could. That's another level onto Sully. Now, if you look at our, like, what I said last time, ooh, strength and skill, the 2 stats that we need. If you look at what I said before about Golden Gaffe, so using Golden Gaffe just 2 times increased our power level, like from probably C tier to B tier. I think using Exponential Growth just 1 time actually pushed us even further, like from B tier to A tier. Like, we've already got, like, an A tier party right now. In terms of, like, what we need to defeat Chapter 5, I think our run is, like, pretty much set up for the next stream. The only problem is I don't really want to stop streaming today, so I don't know exactly what I want to do next. I'll think about it. Let's reorganize our inventory. Well, I still didn't get a level onto Virion, but it's not super important. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my inventory for Chapter 5 and think about which units I want to actually use. So after grinding, so we only grinded for 40 minutes, and it made a huge difference on our power level. And actually, we could have done this much. You could have done that in like 20 minutes. That could have been like a 20-minute grind if I wasn't streaming and like chatting and all that. So going into this fight, I guess I'll explain what my starting strategy would normally be. So typically on Lunatic mode, a strategy that works really well... let me pick the actual units I need to use first. Okay, you want Robin, of course. You need Sully and Lonku. You need Sumiya and Frederick, Virion and Vake, and then you also need Lissa. So you kind of need this party, which makes these other 3 units not really able to play again until Chapter 6. You could use Stall instead of Sully here, but the fact that Sully can support with Lonku makes her the better choice. Especially because we were able to get them up to C rank. That makes a huge difference. Okay, so you have this configuration. What you do is you put Sully here, and then Lonku just needs to be close enough to pair up to her. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lonku could be either here or here. It's actually better to have him here, because you'd want somebody else here. You need to have Virion and Vake able to attack these units here. And then Sumiya and Frederick able to run up. Lissa you can have in the back. These units can be here. Robin being here is better, I think. And then Frederick being here should be fine. I think... Can Virion reach? Yeah, Virion can reach. So it's actually better to have Frederick here and then Robin here. So typically on Lunatic mode, what you would do is you would pair up Lonku with Sully. Sully's movement can carry him over here where he can attack this Dark Mage. And then all he needs to do is not get killed by these guys on enemy phase, which is actually more likely than you might imagine. He has a pretty high chance to dodge all of these enemies, and he survives even if he gets hit once or maybe even twice, depending on his stats. What you can also do is have Robin run over here and kill the most dangerous enemy, which is usually this Myrmidon. That makes it so that you only have 2 Axe Fighters left, and their only choices are to fight Lonku, who they can't hit, or Robin, who they can't kill. Then what you do is you have Frederick and Vake chip away at these guys, so that Frederick can run up and kill these enemies. one or more of these enemies. If you have a rescue staff available, you can have Lissa pull Maribel and Rickon down here from the cliff. It's good if she has at least 10 magic. If she doesn't have enough, what you can do is you can send Miriel to boost her magic score so that she has a further range. However, if she's standing right here, she can reach 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you can get Mirabelle to this square, you can have Lissa rescue her as long as she has at least 8 magic. So 8 magic is the bare minimum, 10 magic is better, 12 magic is even better. This just gives us more options for repositioning Mirabelle and Rickon later. And if we have 12 magic, there's a good chance we can have Rickon attack this guy and then have Lissa rescue him afterwards. So this is going to be our configuration. What we're going to do now is set up the inventories for these characters. Now on Lunatic Plus, this strategy is a little bit less reliable, and sometimes you need to turtle instead. However, I think the general line of play is going to end up being pretty similar. I haven't planned out my Chapter 5 clear yet, but I think the general line of play is going to be pretty similar. I think what we'll probably end up doing is having Robin on this fort, having Frederick on this fort, and then having the rest of our units hiding down here in the safe zone. This is the first map, especially because it has ambush spawns. This is the first map where I'm going to be able to highlight the value of zone control, which is where you have your primary tanks out here, like in the lead, and then your support units can hide back here, and they're far enough away so that the enemies can never reach them, but they can still contribute on an as-needed basis. Gotta make sure I don't save over my number 1 slot, my no grinding slot. Okay, so we're going to set up the inventories for these characters. Chrom, of course, needs to have his falchion, especially because he can do effective damage against the wyverns. He's going to have the rapier, although it doesn't really help in this chapter other than just hit rate and consistency. I will see about potentially giving him another sword, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. I could give him a forged iron sword or one of the Roy blades or something like that. Unfortunately, we can't buy the wind. So normally what I would do is I would buy a wind tome here and I would forge it. I can't do it because there's been risen on this tile for the entire map, but I think we can still get through this. So we're going to use the forged thunder tome for damage. We're going to use the fire tome for consistency and hit rate, and then we'll use the wilder wind tome that we picked up as a replacement for our forged wind tome. Hopefully we won't need it. Hopefully the fire and thunder tome will be enough, plus the elf thunder that we get from Rickon. Because we're going to be using Robin as a lead unit, we should give them a vulnerary at the very least. Lonku also wants a vulnerary, so I'm going to give it to him before I forget. He's going to want a killing edge for sure. We won't need to forge it. I talked about this in a previous stream. If you forge this killing edge, you don't have to give Lonku a strength tonic. If you don't forge the killing edge, you need to either make sure that he gets a strength level up or give him a strength tonic. So you got a couple different options. Forging the killing edge actually isn't a bad idea because in the long term, it will pay for itself. It is expensive, I will say it is very expensive to forge the killing edge compared to other weapons. However, each point of might on the killing edge is going to end up being a lot of extra damage later on. I'll give him a bronze sword. I'm thinking of letting him hold the Levin sword. Hopefully he doesn't need to use it, but I will give it to him. And then Sully is going to be paired up with him. She's going to want a bronze sword, an iron sword. Oh, she can't use the iron sword yet. I think I'll give her an iron sword anyway. Well, hold on. I'll wait and see if anybody else wants it. I'll give her an iron lance and a bronze lance, I guess. I'm thinking of giving her an extra vuln, but we don't really have a lot. What I'll do is I'll buy one for her. Sumia should hold the javelin. However, her main attack is going to be... so if you get her to C rank, if she can use the killer lance, it's usually very helpful. But I think her default attack option is going to be the bronze lance usually. Typically, when she dual strikes, it's only to get experience for her. Frederick doesn't need her extra damage. Then I'm actually going to give her a lot of backup weapons. I'm going to give her the iron lance, the javelin, and the killer lance, as well as a vulnerary to hold for Frederick. And then Frederick himself is going to want definitely the Orson's hatchet. We also picked up the titanium axe at some point. Sometimes it can be really good to give him the bronze axe, but it won't matter on this map. It's actually better to give him a bronze sword. So let's give him a bronze sword. Orson's hatchet. Maybe I will give him a bronze axe. I think I'm going to give him a bronze axe just so I can build axe rank on him. if he needs it later. I'm also going to give... Actually, I'm going to give him the elixir. Then if he needs the elixir, he has access to it. Virion, we're going to give him a bronze bow, and then the forged iron bow that we bought earlier. This should allow him to one-shot the wyverns. If not, it will massively increase the amount of chip damage he deals to them. The Wolt bow, he actually can use that with just a few more points in bow experience, so we'll give that to him. And then Vake, gonna give him I'm actually gonna give him a forged iron axe. I'm gonna give him the hammer. And then Lissa is going to be holding a heal staff, a rescue staff, and then we'll do a backup heal staff. So this is gonna be our inventory for the battle. Now I'm gonna go to the shop, get vulneraries for characters that I wanted to hold extra vulns. Chrom doesn't need one. Lonku doesn't need one. Sully needs one. We're only doing this because we have a lot of extra money from grinding. Typically, you wouldn't have the resources to get all these extra vulneraries. But this is one of the values of doing a grinding playthrough. Lissa doesn't need one. Exit the shop. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to forge iron weapons for characters who I want to have long-term viability. So Vake, this iron axe here, a strength tonic would cost like 500 and something gold. For only 300 gold, we can increase the power slightly for 40 charges instead of only for one battle. And then if you have the money, you can actually spend 900 gold. This is slightly more expensive than a strength tonic, but it's the same value and it's over a long period of time. You can also forge hit rate onto them. The hit rate bonuses are pretty cheap for what they do, like an extra 5 hit for only 300. So like for 600, you can make a really powerful, really accurate iron axe. I'll probably do this for Vake. With 40 charges, it's definitely worth it. Next thing I want to look at is Sumia. I want to give her a forged iron lance because she's going to be using this for a very long time. The iron lance is even cheaper to forge than the axe. The iron lance doesn't need hit rate, so what we could do is we could give 2 might to it instead of might and hit. Should I forge one for Sully as well? I think I will. Once again, the only reason I'm doing this is because if you're doing a grinding playthrough, what you should do is get like iron weapons and forge them for your units. We're gonna forge the Killing Edge for Lonku. So as I mentioned, forging the Killing Edge is expensive. However, it's extremely valuable. You could also put extra crit onto it, but I think the crit is like a little too expensive to be worth it. I think forging extra might onto the Killing Edge is really good though. It's just overall the Killing Edge is a really, really good sword. So investing in it long term is usually not bad. The only downside of investing into the Killing Edge is that it actually will break because it's so good. You will use it a lot. And then I guess we could actually forge a fire tome as well. Like we could do like a max upgraded fire tome, like to nuke enemies with, but I don't want to do that. I'll wait and I'll do that with like an L fire tome later. And I think that's good. I think we're actually set up. I was planning on doing this in a separate stream like next week, but I'm wondering, I don't know if I'll be able to beat it. I haven't actually done it. Okay, so I think what I'll do, normally I do this off stream. I'll do this on stream today just because I feel like continuing to stream. I'm going to show you the process that goes into like me planning out a clear. So I will do the clear on a separate stream, but I will go through the process of like trial and error and like planning out a clear and what the steps that I would take to set up my clear. Which typically involves doing a couple of restarts at the beginning until I find out like which enemy skills will absolutely like break a run. At this point, however, I will say we have the rescue staff. Once you have the rescue staff, it's very rare that you need to restart a run. Because of an enemy skill distribution. Like typically if an enemy has a really bad skill, you can just use the rescue staff to bail yourself out. The only reason that you would restart is because you don't want to waste too many rescue staff charges. So let's get our setup, let's get our formation. Lonku here, Frederick here, Robin here, Chrom here, Virion here should be fine, Big here is fine, and Lissa here is fine. This should be fine. I'm not going to use any tonics right away, so typically what I do is I play without tonics first, and then I see which tonics are required to make my strategy consistent. Okay, so this opener right here works extremely well on Lunatic. It's a lot more risky on Lunatic Plus just because the enemies are more dangerous. What you do is you go here, you switch. Now all you need is for Lonku to land a Killing Edge against this enemy, and or for Sully to get a dual strike, and or for Lanku to dodge this guy's attack. So if like any of those things happen, you basically get a free kill here and you eliminate the most dangerous enemy right away. Now obviously all of those things only have like a 30% chance of happening, but if you combine them, like, you know, it won't work here because this guy has Hawkeye, but I'm talking about on Lunatic mode. On Lunatic mode, you have like a 70, what's my crit rate, 32? You have a 68% chance of succeeding on a crit. Plus you have, no, hold on, let me do it the other way. Okay, so you have a 32% chance to land a crit. Then you have another 32% chance to land a crit. Then you have a 36% chance to get a dual strike. Then you have another 36% chance to get a dual strike. Then you typically have about a 50% chance to dodge this guy's attack. So combined all together, if I do 1 minus that probability, it has like a 99% chance of succeeding. That's with grinding. Without grinding, it's usually like a 70 or 80% chance to succeed, so you will need to reset a couple times. The best case scenario is if you just get a crit right away. We didn't get the crit right away. We got the crit on the second hit. So now on the second turn, Lanku just needs to dodge the attacks from these axe fighters. He actually can't do it because this guy has Hawkeye. So this, because we're on Lunatic Plus, it won't work. If we were on Lunatic, we'd still be fine here. We would just need Lanku to dodge one of these attacks. So the next thing you would do is go over here and get rid of this guy, which can be difficult, but it's not impossible. Actually, we can't double this guy. Interesting. So in this case, we would actually need Lanku to actually also dodge this guy's attack or survive this guy's attack. If we defeat this guy without taking any damage, if you defeat this guy without taking any damage, then you only need to dodge the axe fighters, and you can actually survive this guy's attack. So I think that's typically the way forward. What we're actually going to do is we're going to have Robin and remove whichever enemy we can potentially get rid of. Which in this case is probably going to be this guy. Can we do it with the Fire Tome? 26 plus 14. Oh no, hold on. He has Aegis. So let's do it this way with the Thunder Tome. We want higher damage. We want crits. We want more dual strikes. Okay, we didn't get what we needed. This attempt isn't going to succeed anyway. I'm just kind of showing off like a general idea of what you would want to do. So things aren't going the way that we want them to, but it's fine. The next thing you would do is, yes, you have Vake pair up with Virion. No, you have Virion pair up with Frederick to give Frederick extra attack power. I forgot to give him the Silver Lance. You need the Silver Lance for this. Okay, so this run is completely screwed already. Typically, you'd have the Silver Lance equipped here, so you could one-shot this guy. I guess I'll just use the Bronze Sword just as a placeholder for now. Then, after Frederick attacks this guy, you can have... Oh, Vake needs to be one spot to the left. So yes, this is what I'm showing you, trial and error. So I made like 4 errors before I even hit the start button. But we're going to fix those on the next attempt, and it's going to make our run more consistent. So next, you would have Vake run up here. He would grab Virion, rotate Virion into the lead, and then Virion has a chance to kill this Barbarian here. So we can't do that. Next, if this guy's still alive, you can have Sumiya run up and kill him. Before that, we can go like this. We can have Riken attack this guy to damage him even further. So you have Virion, Sumiya, and Riken all have the potential to kill this guy. Frederick would have already eliminated this guy. Then you would move Maribel and pair her up here. Now, if you got rid of all these guys and the Shaman the Dark Mage is the only person left, you actually don't need to use a Rescue Staff because Riken can actually survive combat with this guy, which I will show off as well. But if you need to use the Rescue Staff, you would go like this. You would grab Riken from over here. 12 magic allows you to do this. With only 10 magic, you need Riken to move over here instead. It's not a big difference, though. You just need Riken to be a little bit closer to Lissa. So we're actually not going to use the Rescue Staff this time. And then lastly, you just have Sumiya left to just kind of do whatever you need her to do. Typically, she would fly over here and pair up with Frederick. I can't do that because I messed up my opener. So we'll do this instead. Doesn't really matter. In terms of hit rates, FE6 is definitely more hit or miss. That's very true. Oh, that's a god tier level up. Alright, so let's see what the enemies want to do. Yeah, they're going to kill Lanku. This guy is Hawkeye, so we couldn't dodge him. This guy's going to kill Riken because, well, he can kill Riken. This guy's going to kill Maribel, probably. This guy's going to kill Sully because after the pair-up breaks, she gets dumped on the ground. They're going to kill Maribel. The Dark Mage will probably go for Frederick here, maybe Virion. Oh, he has Pass. He went. Vake actually killed that guy. Awesome. I think he's like at base level 2. I don't think we leveled him up. Maybe 1 level. Yeah, and then this guy will go... You actually don't like it when this guy goes for Frederick, because then he stands on the fort, and what you want is for Frederick to get onto the fort as soon as possible. So that was a really bad opener. We're going to refine that, and I will show you a better version of the same opener. So what I do is I just play through, I do turn 1, I see all of the errors I made, and then I fix them on my prep. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to switch the position of Vake and Sumiya. We need to give Frederick the Iron Lance. The Silver Lance, sorry, I forgot to give him the Silver Lance. I'm thinking about giving Sumiya... Okay, Sumiya has the Killer Lance already. What else did we need to do? I know there was other stuff that I forgot to do. I'm completely drawing a blank. I think the strategy of having... So, the strategy of having Lonku go to the left and kill this guy works really well on Lunatic. I don't think it works on Lunatic Plus. I think there's too many ways for it to go wrong. Like, these enemies keep spawning with like skills that cause they make it go from like 80% chance for Lonku to survive to like a 5% chance for Lonku to survive. It's just it's way more inconsistent. But I'm wondering what the solution is. I'm wondering if maybe the solution is actually have Frederick go left and Robin go north, which is the opposite of what I normally do. So first, let's just do the strategy we've been doing, but with a slightly more refined opener. Because this guy spawned with Pavis, we actually probably can't even kill him. But we can dodge his attack this time, so let's just show off what happens. Yeah, so typically you're going to be able to dodge his attack pretty consistently. We couldn't finish him off, we just didn't have the firepower for it, which causes a ton of problems, so we're going to have another really bad opener. Once again, I'm just going to show off what a good opener looks like. This guy doesn't have guaranteed, so Lonku could dodge this guy's attack. Problem is this guy spawned with counter, so whoever fights this guy is probably going to kill themselves. Again, we're going to do the same thing here. This guy spawned with Aegis again. Very unlucky. Okay, I'll show you what the opener on the right-hand side is supposed to look like. So the opener on the right-hand side is supposed to look like this. You go here, you one-shot this guy with the Silver Lance. With Virion's pair-up, it gives you just enough damage to one-shot this guy with the Silver Lance. And if you get a C rank support with Virion, you get even more attack. So, like if you don't get a good strength level up, you get a C support with Virion. If you don't get the C support with Virion, you get like a good strength level up. If you don't get either of those things, maybe, I don't know, you forge a point of might, or you use a strength tonic. Like you could use a strength tonic to make up the extra damage. You just have to find a way to get the extra damage, basically, is what I'm saying. So the next thing we do is we take Virion, we switch him into the lead. Now he can attack this guy. And he can also, there's a chance that Vake can get a dual strike here as well. So we're going to go for that. One good thing is that if you get Virion over here, sometimes the Dark Mage will attack Virion instead of attacking Frederick. If the Dark Mage attacks Virion, this makes it so that Frederick can get onto the fort, which is a much better opener. We're going to use Mirabelle's extra movement. Odd Panda says, you made me actually want to do Lunatic for once. Yeah, I think if I showed off the Lunatic strategies, I think, like, Lunatic... How do I want to say this? I think Lunatic is, like... Lunatic is way more approachable than what I'm doing right now. Like, Lunatic Plus is so much harder than Lunatic, and it's almost like a completely different game. I really do think that most people could play Lunatic mode if they wanted to. So we're not going to be able to defeat this Barbarian because Vake didn't get a dual strike, but it's not a big deal. I am going to put some chip damage onto him. Like this. Okay, we have to be careful because this guy does have pass, so he can actually get past, he can actually walk through the rest of our team. Which means he's probably going to attack Virion, which also means that this guy's probably going to attack Virion and kill him, but what else can we do about it? Okay, so in this situation, you have to understand how Rescue Staff works. If I stand right here and I use the Rescue Staff, it should move Rickon to the space below me. So I'm going to test that theory. You can do this rescue with only 10 magic, and then there you go. So typically it moves the unit into the space below you if it can. If it can't move it to the space below you, it usually moves in the space to the left. Yeah, so they did. He used pass to target Virion, unfortunately. So that's something I have to keep in mind for future attempts. If that guy has pass, I have to either make sure that I kill him, or I have to accept the fact that he could kill Virion if I don't kill him. Okay, I'm very curious to see what this Myrmidon's gonna do. I wonder if he's gonna go for Robin or Lanku. They're actually attacking Robin. I think they might see a kill on Robin. This one goes for Lanku. Lanku's gonna kill himself here with counter. No, he's not. Wow, we actually survived. Okay, so the only thing that we lost there was Virion died, so that attempt actually went a lot better. So from this position, it's pretty good. What you can do, it kind of sucks that this guy has counter, but you can do something like this. Now we've got 17 HP. The tricky part is that a lot of these enemies probably have counter, which means we'll probably kill ourselves on enemy phase. So I think we're actually going to have to do a no-weapon strategy with Frederick. It's very likely we're going to have to do a no-weapon strategy. This time, actually, none of the... Oh, this guy has counter. So if we can bait this guy away from Frederick, which should be very easy to do. Although it might not be easy without getting anyone else involved. Okay, so this guy right here should fly over and attack Vake. Frederick will fight all of the remaining guys, and then we just need someone to fight this Brigand. Which can be... In fact, Robin could just get rid of him right now. But it's actually better to do this. Because we have to get rid of this guy. We badly need to get rid of this guy. I think him standing on the fort will actually stop the ambush spawn from appearing. So it's actually better to leave this guy alive. In a weird way. Whenever you rotate Lanku into the back, always switch him to the bronze sword. Now what we have to do is make sure this Brigand can't get to anybody. Although I'm interested to see if he one-shots Rickon. He probably does. Yeah, they usually one-shot Rickon. So we'll put these units in the corner. Okay, I think I know what's going to happen. He's going to move off the fort. Yeah, the ambush spawn doesn't actually appear because there was an enemy standing on the fort at the start of the turn. This guy's going to fight Vake. He's actually going to die. Vake can actually be very useful in this chapter, as you're seeing here. He's great for pairing up. He's actually great for baiting out opponents. If you have a wounded enemy, you can usually have Vake bait them out. Okay, now I think the Flyer is going to go for Vake. I think the Wyvern will go for Vake here. No, he will go for Frederick. So Frederick's going to kill himself. Unfortunate. It's good to know, though. It's good for future planning. So you have to be careful of the enemies with counter. I don't think counter will make this fight unwinnable. I think it just is going to make it so our strategy has to be a little bit slower. Although I'm still worried about our strategy on the left hand. I think the left hand strategy works really well on Lunatic. I don't think it works on Lunatic Plus. I think you have to like stand here and like keep checking for what skills the enemies have, which just isn't really fun. I don't think there's any real refinements we can do. I think I just want to do another attempt and see how it goes. I don't think I can change, unless I made a mistake last time and then forgot about it. But right now, I'm not remembering any mistakes that I made. He has Hawkeye this time, so what we really want is to land a crit or a dual strike immediately. Didn't get it. Didn't even kill him. So if that happens, if that ever happens, you just restart. If you ever fail to kill that guy, you just restart. Wow, there's actually a couple lurkers in the chat right now. Which is surprising to me because I didn't advertise this stream anywhere. I just started streaming. Thanks for coming to the stream. If you have anything you want to tell me about your day or anything else, feel free to speak up. Counter working even when its enemy phase is annoying. It doesn't bother me too much, actually. Alright, so here again, this guy having counter is not the end of the world. What we want to do is just land a crit immediately, which happens about a third of the time. Didn't happen that time, it's fine. We just restart. So you're seeing these resets take about 30 seconds. In my opinion, I think if you have a turn 1 strategy that requires like a reset that takes 30 seconds and will usually happen after like the 3rd or 4th try, like let's count that as our 2nd try. So this is our 3rd try. I'm not even checking what skills the enemy has because it doesn't even matter. Like we check them once we reach him. So right now he has counters, he has counter and Aegis. This is actually the worst configuration. With counter and Aegis, I don't think we actually can kill him. Yeah, so even if we had landed 2 crits there, I don't think we would have killed him. So keep in mind in the future, I am going to check this guy for Aegis. I think Aegis is the one skill we don't want him to have. So this is part of my refinement process. Once I do this, so that, let's say that was my third try. That was my third reset. What I start doing now is now I've realized, okay, if this guy has Aegis, I can't win. So what I do is I view the map, I check him. He doesn't have Aegis, I just go right for it. I don't check anything else. I don't waste my time checking every enemy on the map. It really doesn't matter. Most of the time, the randomized enemy skills will not stop you from winning. The only thing that happens is they just make it so you have to adjust your strategy. So here, ideally, we want to either get a crit right away or we want to dodge his attack. We have two options for success here. We got the crit right away. So that was our fourth attempt and we already succeeded. We already got to the second half. Now we want to check these guys. None of these two can act. If these two both attack Lonku, he actually has very good odds to survive. This guy, if this guy attacks Lonku, he has very good odds to kill Lonku. So what we want to do is get rid of this guy right here. This is the biggest problem right now. And this guy doesn't have Aegis this time, which means that we actually have very good odds to kill him. Nope. Dual Strike Man didn't want to jump in. Okay. Should I try my left-hand side strategy, or should I just... I'm just going to ride things out here. I'm not going to treat this as a serious attempt. I'm going to treat this as me still trying to gather information about what to do on the different sides. But this right here, this opener right here is showing me that I think my current opener can work. Because if I had gotten the Dual Strike here, which was, let's just see. 1 minus second answer. So there was actually a 70% chance to kill this guy. If we had killed this guy, our opener on the left-hand side would have been completely safe. There's no way for these two enemies to kill Lonku. They would have both attacked Lonku and they would not have killed him. So that opener actually would have been exactly what we needed to succeed. So let's just continue on as if this strategy was working. So we're going to pair up here. This guy has counter, this guy has pass and counter. That's very problematic. So in this situation, we're really hoping for a Vake Dual Strike, but it's actually not super likely to happen. However, there is a way you can there is a way you can deal with this axe enemy. If this axe enemy is too big of a problem, I will show you how to get a more guaranteed kill against him. Yeah, honestly, counter doesn't bother me that much. I think for me, the hardest skill to play around is usually Aegis and Pavis. So we didn't get our Dual Strike. What we're going to do is we're going to damage him a little bit more. And then I think because Lissa has 12 magic, we can actually rescue Riken from this position. We can kill this guy. Can we kill him with the Javelin? I don't think so. I'm going to use the Iron Lance here. So the Iron Lance we forged earlier comes in handy here. You can do this. You can forge this Iron Lance on a no-grinding playthrough. This only costs 700 gold. This is a weapon that you can make to massively increase your consistency. So what you can do is you can have Sumia fly in and kill this guy. This protects Virion. Now, the only enemy who can reach us is this Dark Mage. The issue is him having counter, but because he has a 2-range weapon, he'll probably attack at 2-range. I think every character in his range can survive against him right now. However, should I rescue Riken? I think I'm going to rescue Riken because it's actually usually better to have him away from the front lines on the next turn, rather than having to get him away from the enemy group next turn. If he's already back here on turn 2, it's much better. So I think this run is going to fail because of the Hawkeye surviving. Yeah, we really needed that guy to die. Otherwise, this attempt could have actually gone forward. That guy moving onto the fort is actually placed to our benefit. And then, yeah, so this guy, when this guy attacks Virion, it's really good because it allows Frederick to move onto the fort. Now, I'm going to check which enemies have counter. 2, 3. Okay, so 3 of these enemies have counter. So when 3 of these enemies have counter, what I like to do is just move him here and unequip his weapons. What's going to happen is these enemies are going to start attacking Frederick, but they actually can't kill him. They just don't have enough damage. So Frederick can just stand here and just get attacked by them forever. While Frederick is fighting these guys on the fort, what you do is you use your other units to pull the enemies away. This guy having pass is going to be a problem, though. What I should have done, actually, here's what I should have done. I should have had Frederick kill this guy, and then have Sumiya unequip his weapons and pair up with him. That was my misplay. So actually, so this is going to give me a point that I need to refine. Going into the next attempt, I need to make sure that Sumiya has an inventory that will allow her to unequip all of Frederick's weapons, in case I need them to, so that I can get rid of this Dark Mage and then keep Frederick on the fort with no weapons equipped. What I can do, however, is move these units back. Virion can move back here. This will allow him to fight the Dark Mage again. So the Dark Mage will run over here and attack Virion, which doesn't bother us at all because he can survive. He'll damage, he'll get a chance for a dual strike, and then Sumiya's going to end up pairing up with Frederick anyway. So yeah, I should have done this strategy. Where I traded Frederick's weapons after he attacked. I'll do that on the next attempt that goes well. So typically, the situation here would be different because Lonku would have survived, but we'll just do this. This guy can probably kill Sumiya, or sorry, Sully. He can. And there's not really any way that she can get away, is there? Yeah, she can. Let's see how these two fare against these enemies. Not bad. Yeah, Robin on the left side. I think Robin can hold the left side by themselves. I think what I need to do is write down which turns the ambush spawns are going to appear to, because you only need to block the fort on the turns when the ambush spawns are going to appear. So as I explained, this is once you get past turn 1, this is going to be your general strategy for the rest of the map. If Frederick is on this fort, none of these enemies can kill him. They can just attack him, but they can't kill him. So then what you do is you just have Frederick stand here with no weapons equipped so that he can't damage himself with counter, and then you have your other units pull the other enemies away one at a time, while Robin holds the left side by themselves. So I don't think any enemies will spawn this turn. I can't say that with 100% certainty though, which is a little bit scary. If I transfer Chrom, will I get +1 attack? I think I will. Yes, I will. Oh, okay. That was... I got bailed out by RNG there. So that guy, he had Pavis, which I didn't notice, which means that that attack would have failed, but then I also got a crit, which made it so that my attack landed anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the attack ranges for all these fellows. None of them can actually reach Virion where he's standing right now, so what I can do is I can have Virion finish off this guy. Totally safe. Heal up. And then start splitting up my other units, so that next turn I can have them start pulling the other guys off of Frederick. Oops, I'm supposed to split them up. There we go. Okay, split them up. Also, having your units clustered over here causes the ambush spawns from this fort and this fort to tend to move to the right side. You typically want them to move to the right side where they'll encounter Frederick rather than moving to the left side. Sometimes they'll move to the left. You could kind of play around it, but it's better if you can get them to move to the right, to where Frederick is. So right now, we're totally safe. Frederick actually has not taken any damage yet. There is an ambush spawn this turn, okay. They're just straight up missing him. They just can't even hit the guy. This turn is only an axe fighter. I'm going to keep that in mind. So turn 3 is a random axe fighter, which I can definitely deal with, like even if he does spawn. Man, dual strike, man, just does not want to dual strike. Okay, I'm a little bit worried now about this configuration, because if another ambush spawn comes on the next turn, I will be pretty screwed. Okay, I do want Chrom to have a stronger basic attack option, so I think I'm going to give him a forged iron sword, so that he can deal with enemies that spawn with Pavis if I need him to. I'll go for a crit here. Nice. Bailed out by a crit again. Man, Chrom and Sully are actually working well together. They keep getting crits. So before the next attempt, I'm going to get a forged iron sword for Chrom, and I'm going to check which turns the ambush spawns come, because I didn't check that ahead of time. Okay, so this tile right here can only be attacked by this guy with the axe, What are his stats? He has Pass and Vantage Plus. Neither of those skills scare me at all. Be careful of the flyer. Frederick's blocking his path forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this fellow over here. I'm going to put Vake. I'm going to make sure he can actually fight this guy. He needs +1 speed. Can he get that from Maribel? Yes. Can he get it from Lissa? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pair him up with Lissa. Because they have C support. I want to swap the position of these two, but I can't do it. The next best thing is just going like this. Frederick is just going to wait here. Okay, so these two flyers, we want them to go to the right. I'm going to check their position next turn. We're going to know which ones are the reinforcements because they're not highlighted yet. Yeah, Vake is guaranteed to survive that. Now another unit moves into that position. So now you might be asking, okay, so now another unit moved into that position. Now what do you do? Well, now what you do is... So these are the two. They kind of moved south instead of moving to the right. Not a big deal. I'm going to start highlighting all of the enemies. Now, keep in mind, Lonku already died, so this attempt is already bricked. But I'm just figuring out what my mid-game strategy is going to be. Because once you get to this point, if you can survive to turn 2 and you have this setup right here, you've almost already completely won the map. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Sully block this fort so that I don't have to deal with any ambush spawns coming from here. The problem is that sometimes this will cause these flyers to come down here. In order to handle that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Virion and Robin go over here and just intercept these flyers coming from the left-hand side. So this might actually be the configuration that we need. I think this might be the setup. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have... So that the enemy that moved into this position could now attack Vake if he stays in the same spot. However, if Vake moves to the right... Tricky thing is, yeah, we can kill him with 2 more attacks. But he's going to have Vantage. What about the left? The left is safe. Okay, so we're going to move to the left. But if we move to the left, there's no space for Maribel to stand because this guy has Pass. Okay, we're going to have to move to the right. How much does Mend heal for? Mend does not heal to full. Will he survive? He will not. So this is why the Vulnerary is going to help us. We're going to use the Vuln that we picked up. We're going to heal with Mend. Get Vake back to full HP. And then I'll just have Rickon move this way. This is going to be unfortunate because it's going to cause the flyers to start moving to the left. Once again, just stand here. I love how he's just dodging their attacks. Every single attack. Nice. We're lucky that guy didn't have counter. Okay, Wilderwind only does 8 damage. That's pathetic. I really wish I had my Forged Wind Tome. Oh, it's because he has Aegis. Okay, so for this guy's right here is going to be the scariest one. I would rather get rid of him before I do anything else. If I stand here, can anything else attack me? No. So this position right here is really good for Robin. I want my Chrom pair up before I go there, however. So I'm going to do it this way. Iron Bow only does 22, unfortunately. What about the Elwind Tome? 21. Yeah, I think I have the solution. Bronze Sword, transfer, switch, Iron Bow. This is only going to do 11 damage, unfortunately. Sully Dual Strike helps. I need my Chrom pair up. I think we've already failed, but this attempt was kind of bad anyway. Okay, this gives us the power to double. So the problem is going to be this Myrmidon, and then also the fact that we can't block the fort this turn, because we didn't have enough actions available. But what you can do from here is you can transfer Chrom into the lead, have him attack with the Falchion, which is enough to kill. So If nothing spawns from this fort, we might be safe. It depends on how dangerous the Myrmidon is. Over here, because this guy has Vantage, we have to heal Vake. This is a really good example of what this attempt, or sorry, what this oh, we can't do it anyway because we still don't have enough. What I should have done is transferred Lissa over. No, I couldn't do that because then I couldn't attack afterwards. Yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty good example of what a successful run will look like if things, of course, don't go wrong. But like, this is the general strategy. You set up this situation where you have Frederick holding all of the aggro on this fort where the enemies can't hurt him, and then you just pull the enemies away from Frederick one at a time. We won't be able to win here unless we dodge this 71% attack. Oh, we dodged. Sick. Vake has been really beasting it on this attempt. By the way, Vake also pairs up with Lanku, so that's another reason why it's good. This strategy works because you have Lanku and Vake together on the same map, so they can potentially like pair up with each other as needed. Alright, let's see how this goes. Let's see what the Myrmidon does. He actually wants to kill Virion. That means he probably couldn't kill Robin. If they can kill Robin, they'll kill Robin. It looks like nothing spawns on turn 6. Yeah, even when the enemies do hit Frederick, they deal like 3 damage. It's not a danger at all. We can actually do the same thing again. We can just kill this guy. The problem is now we have to get rid of this guy and we have to block the fort. Can I do that? This guy doesn't have Vantage, so all I need to do is just hit him. Yeah, I can't block the fort. So once again, if there's any ambush spawns this turn, they're going to screw us over. But we can't deal with them. Yeah, this is the problem with the Wilderwind Tome. I'm already out of charges. Should I just use the Thunder Tome then? I should just use my Forged Thunder Tome. I don't even need to use any kind of wind magic. So I'll keep that in mind for the next attempt. You know what? I need to write something down. Forged Iron Sword for Chrom. No Wilderwind for Robin. And then there was a third thing that I wanted to do. I can't remember it now. If anyone remembers, tell me. I said something like 5 minutes ago that I wanted to do on the next attempt, and I can't remember it now. Okay, Vake is pretty safe. This team is safe. We don't want to draw that guy out. So here's a mechanic that I want to show off. Oh, check ambush spawn turns. Okay, this is another mechanic I want to show off. So this enemy right here has a ton of movement, and if he catches Vake, Lissa, or Mirabelle, he will kill them. However, if he has Frederick within his range, he will never move. Even if he can't actually attack Frederick, but he still won't move away from Frederick. He just stands here next to Frederick if there's nobody else in his range. So if Frederick is the only unit within this guy's range, this flyer right here, he will stay next to Frederick, and this is one way you can keep enemies locked into position. So instead of flying away from Frederick and going after the units that he can actually kill, he just stands here and sticks to Frederick. Like that. Like he just stands here. He will not go and chase my other units, which means we can wait and we can just deal with him later whenever we need to. Okay, it looks like turn 6 is another safe turn. Now I think there's one more turn of ambush spawns coming. I think there's like one final turn where a bunch of ambush spawns appear all at once. So I'm going to wait and see what that turn is. It's not this turn. Okay, so from right here, if Lanku hadn't died, this would have been a successful attempt. We could actually win the map from this position. Let's see if it's turn 10. Is there any ambush on turn 10? No, there's not. I wonder if turn 6 or turn 5 is the last turn. I'm gonna wait one more turn. There's definitely a turn where a bunch of flyers spawn. It might have been actually turn 5. If that's true, then this map is even easier than I thought it was. I typically just stand on these forts for a long time because I don't feel like checking when the ambush spawns are going to come. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, so this gives me an opportunity to answer 2 questions. What do you do from this position, and what do you do if Frederick's health gets this low? So first of all, trade with Sumia, get the Vulnerary. Make sure you unequip your weapon. After you trade, you always automatically equip, so make sure after you trade with Sumia, you unequip your weapon again. Use the Vulnerary. This gives us the HP we need to survive. Now we just have to pick one enemy that we can pull off. So I'm gonna grab this Wyvern Rider right here, and I'm gonna pull him away from the rest of the group. Excuse me. In order to fight him, I think I'm... Excuse me. I'm gonna use Vake and Chrom. Hold on, what skills does he have? He has 100% hit rate. That's the only dangerous skill he has, so yeah. We don't care if he hits Chrom, because Chrom's gonna have a massive defense bonus. I do want to do this, though. I want to get my better support partners standing next to me. Where's Virion? Oh, I did let Virion die as well. Okay, so yeah, this attempt is not going to go anywhere, but I'm just showing off mechanics, and I'm like checking and refining my strategy. Okay, I could use another Vulnerary here, or I could risk another fight. We actually got kind of lucky that none of these guys have Luna. If these guys have Luna, there's a little bit more pressure. You have to be a little bit faster on like pulling them off of Frederick and clearing them out, but we got kind of lucky that they don't have Luna. I'm actually just going to not waste a Vuln here, because this is not really a real turn anyway. Okay, so I'm going to stand here. Is 14 enough to double this guy? It's not, but with a Robin pair up, I could actually double. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to use the Falchion with the Fire Tome. We're gonna attack twice. We're gonna have 2 chances to dual strike. And then if we don't kill him, we have a couple units waiting behind to finish off. Aether says, I just got back from lunch. I was expecting it to be in Golden Gaffe. No, Golden Gaffe grinding took about 20 minutes. Exponential growth grinding took about 20 minutes, and then we were basically ready. It actually goes way faster than you would imagine. Alright, so... Oh. So they finally got Frederick. That's fine. If we used our Vulnerary, Frederick would still be alive. Okay, so this guy flies over here. He attacks Chrom. So that's how you pull the units away from Frederick one at a time. Now, unfortunately, because of what happened, I can't show this off again for another turn, but typically what would happen is Frederick would still be here. He would still be totally safe. Then you could just pick another enemy, like, say, this enemy right here. So now this sword guy is the only one who can reach the edge of the range. So what we would do is we would pick an enemy who could fight him safely. In this case, we could actually do Sully if we wanted, but she's too far away. Actually, she's not. So we would pick Sully, we would go like this. Let's do Iron Lance, Vulnerary. We're going to pair her up with Chrom. Just like this. Go here. Make sure you block the fort. You actually don't need to, though. I'm pretty sure there's no more reinforcements coming. So then we would go like this. Now, obviously, they're going to kill Sumia. But pretend Frederick is there, taking all of the rest of the attacks. Then this guy would run over here. Sully would attack him. You get your dual strike. Now on the next turn, we could kill this guy. And then we could set up, we could pull another guy away from Frederick. And then you would basically just continue like this over and over again for the next, 10 turns until you win the map. So that's going to be the ideal position that you want to get into while you're setting up your strategy for this map. You have Frederick holding all of the units on that fort, and then the rest of your units on the south side of the map pulling them away one at a time. Now, before we do another attempt, I'm going to do the things that I need to do, the things that I wrote down. I want to get a Forged Iron Sword for Chrom. I want to take the Wilderwind off of... I will keep the Wilderwind on Robin, but I'm going to use the Thunder as my primary weapon. And then I have to check which turns the ambush spawns are actually going to be spawning. Iron Swords are especially good for forging because they're so cheap. It's only 780 to get an extra 2 points of might, and then they have a crazy 95% hit rate. This is basically better than his Falchion. Alright, so we're going to go back in here. We're going to save our file. And then we're going to check the ambush spawns for this map. I think what I'll do, maybe before the next stream, is I'll set up a thing. Like, you can see the space below the game screen. We're not using that space. What I might do is I might use that space to write down notes, like when the ambush spawns are going to appear. So we're going to do our opener. Since Aether actually wasn't here earlier when I was explaining the opener, I will actually explain it again. So you go like this. You have all your units set up like this. I'm not going to do it yet, because I want to check the ambush spawns first. That guy's fine. Alright, so let's check our ambush spawns first. Fire Emblem, Awakening, Chapter 5. Don't want to go to Fandom Wiki. Fire Emblem Wiki. Reinforcements. Okay, yeah, so they spawn on turn 3, 4, and 5. However, you only need to block the southern fort on turns 3 and 5. So... is that correct? Because I think a guy with an axe spawns on the south fort on turn 4. I wonder if the wiki is wrong. I'm not sure. I'll trust the wiki, but... it's very difficult for me to do that because during the last attempt there was a guy who spawned on this fort. Oh, that was on turn 3. Okay, I got it. Okay, so... turn 3. South. Turn 3 and 5. All forts. Turn 4. Wyverns only. Hey Devin, thanks for stopping by again today. We're doing basically just chatting stream while I plan out my next Lunatic Plus clear. I also did some grinding. I showed off the different grinding methods. I think I talked a little bit about like when you would want to grind or like what a good method is. Like we grinded for about 40 minutes. We made our units a little bit stronger, but we didn't grind everybody like to such a high level that it completely removes the difficulty. And I think this is a fair and fun way to engage with Lunatic Plus. However, I will in the next stream show off how to clear this map without grinding. Chrom is fortunately a good unit on his own, unlike Marth. His falchion is pretty bad for most of the game. It's basically just a glorified iron sword with dragon effectiveness. I'm currently redoing a Lunatic run. Is defense boon or speed boon Robin better? They're both good. Defense will make your early game more consistent, and it's also one of the best boons to have at the end game. Speed boon is probably the best one to have at the end game, but it's not as... and it's still good in the early game, but it's not as good as defense in the early game. So it's really a choice about whether you want your early game to be more consistent or not. If you're fine with doing more resets in the early game, then speed boon is better, I think, because it's also slightly better long term. Aether says the actual explanation is good to know. Okay, then let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to do, we found out through trial and error that you need to check this guy. If this guy has Aegis, which is like the red shield skill that has physical damage, your strategy will not work. Any other attempt is worth at least trying. Typically, it will take around 3 or 4 tries before you get a good attempt, but it's worth at least trying as long as this guy doesn't have Aegis. So the first thing we do is we pair up Lanku with Sully. We use Sully's movement to get Lanku over here. We switch Lanku into the lead. Now, ideally, you want to either crit this guy right away so that he doesn't counterattack you, or you want to dodge his attack so that he can't damage you. We got the initial crit. That's perfect. That happens about 1 every 3 times. Next, you check these 3 enemies and see which one is most dangerous to Lanku. In this case, it's going to be this guy because he has Hawkeye. So we want to get rid of this guy so that he doesn't have a guaranteed hit against Lanku. This guy is also a little bit tricky because he has counter and Hawkeye. So this attempt might actually not work because this guy has counter and Hawkeye. What's going to happen is Lanku is going to kill himself when he fights this guy, I think. But unfortunately, we can't leave this guy alive either, so there's not really a good solution. I'll just show what you would normally do, though, if you had an attempt that's worth playing out. So if we had an attempt worth playing out, we would say, okay, this guy's the most dangerous guy. So what you want to do is run over here and have Robin get rid of this guy. As long as you get a dual strike, this guy's removed. Now, on the following turn, on turn 2, what would normally happen if this guy didn't have Hawkeye and counter, there would be a pretty good chance for Lanku to survive fighting against these 2 enemies. The worst thing that can happen is if this guy moves onto the fort, but even that's not too bad. You might get a lucky crit. That's true, actually. Yeah, if we crit this guy, we actually still would survive as long as we dodge this guy's attack, which is very likely. We have a very high chance to dodge this guy's attack. The next thing you do for your opener is you pair up Frederick with Virion. This gives Frederick enough damage to one-shot this guy with the Silver Lance. I talked about this earlier. If Frederick doesn't have enough attack power, you can use a Virion pair-up, you can forge the Silver Lance, you can use a Strength Tonic, or you can just get enough Strength level-ups. In our case, we got enough Strength level-ups, so all we need is the Virion pair-up. If the Virion pair-up wasn't enough, you can give him a Strength Tonic. It's also a good idea to give him a Defense Tonic at the start of this chapter. That's what I forgot to do. The reason the Defense Tonic helps is that when he's sitting on this fort, it lowers the chances of the enemies eventually killing him. The next thing you do is you have Rickon run over here and grab some chip damage on this guy. We're going to do that this way so that he's closer to Lissa. So you can grab him with a rescue staff. The next thing you do is you have Vake run over here, grab Virion, then you can pull Virion into the lead, and you have a chance to actually kill this guy if Vake lands a dual strike. It's not super likely, but it happens sometimes. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. So the way to recover from this position is to have Sumia fly over here, and I think she can kill this guy with the Iron Lance. Yes, she can kill this guy with the Iron Lance. Go like this. Now, the only enemy who's threatening our group is this Dark Mage right here. He has counter, which doesn't matter because he will attack at 2 range. He's probably going to attack Virion. I noticed he pretty much always attacks Virion because Virion has 2 resistance. However, what I like to do anyway is just pull these 2 out with the rescue staff. I'm actually not going to do it this time just because I want to see what happens. I want to see if this guy will attack Rickon, and I also want to see if Rickon can get away without using the rescue staff. One thing about the rescue staff is that you always try to pull the unit into the space below you. So if I'm standing here, I will move Rickon here. If I'm standing at the bottom of the map and I can't put Rickon below me, I would put him to the left of me, so be careful of that. So typically they go below. If they can't go below, they'll go to the left instead. Those are some insane levels. You had a good RNG on this one so far. Well, the grinding the extra 3 levels and getting support ranks also helped, but yeah, we've gotten some really good level ups. Ooh, we got a crit there. If we get a crit here, we actually survive. No, we didn't get it. Yeah, so we kill ourselves with counter. That's fine. There's always like a small chance of succeeding, so it's worth playing out. Okay, so even if Rickon stands there, this is really, really, really good to know. Even if Rickon is standing there, this Dark Mage will still attack Virion. That is extremely important information. I need to one-shot this guy, which I don't think I can do because he has Pavis. Yeah. We're in a little bit of a tricky situation. So what we can do is just not attack him. Let me pair up Sumia with him first and give him the vulnerary. Okay, so this is, I'll show Aether how we actually got into that position on the last attempt. So what you do is you unequip your weapons, you equip the vulnerary. Okay, I don't think Rickon can get away. He might be able to actually, let's see. I actually think Rickon can get away without using a rescue staff with this strategy. Even on, this is crazy, even on Lunatic Plus, I can devise a strategy where Rickon can actually get away. This is insane. This is nuts. Like, I know I can do a strategy where I can get Rickon to escape, but being able to do it on Lunatic Plus is just, like, crazy. That is unbelievable. Okay, Sully can typically actually fight this guy pretty safely, yeah. So let's try this. Gonna hit him with the Fire Tome. Okay, or not. We'll just run away. So, pretend Lonku is still alive. This is how this turn would play out. I think counter is fine here. Yeah, we wouldn't have killed ourselves with counter. Odd Panda deleted some message that I missed. If the attack order was reversed, you would have had it. Honestly, that's real... I missed... what are you talking about for real value savings? Yeah, so this here, these enemies will pile onto Frederick. Unfortunately, that guy having Luna does mean that they can kill him. So this is going to be a reset. You got a second seal early in the Anna shop, reclassed Lissa into Pegasus Knight, and married Robin. Would you call that good? So personally speaking, I don't think Lissa makes a good Gale Force unit. I think it's better to use her as a staff unit because staves are insanely powerful in this game, and Lissa is one of your best staff users. So it's better to just use her as a staff unit, and then later on, you can upgrade her into a Falcon Knight so that she can use Rally Speed, and she can use staves, and she can fly. There's not really any reason to use her as a Dark Falcon with Gale Force because her offensive power isn't really good enough. And even when it gets to the point where her offensive power is good, her defensive power is still very weak, which means there's a lot of situations where she can't even attack enemies without getting herself killed. Vantage isn't the best here, but it's worth playing out. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, being able to save the rescue staff there is really good. You're right about that. Alright, so let's go for the attempt here. It's not likely to succeed this time. Our odds are even lower than last time, but these attempts only take 30 seconds per try, so that was a fail. Just restart. It usually takes about 4 restarts on average. Yeah, personally speaking, I wouldn't do Lissa as a Pegasus Knight, especially early on. However, given the information that you provided, with the Robin pair-up, you can make any unit good. So yes, I do think your Lissa will be good. Because they're paired up with Robin, who's one of the best units in the game. And also, because you're playing Lunatic and not Lunatic Plus, you don't need staff users as badly as I do. I'm desperately in need of good staff users. Alright. No crit. That's okay. Just restart. I'm surprised we're actually not getting the kill there. I think Sully might actually need a stronger weapon. We didn't encounter this in any of our earlier attempts. Oh, also, I need to rearrange Sume's inventory so that she can clear out Frederick's inventory if she needs to. So let's do that. Let's go Bronze Lance, Killer Lance, Vulnerary. I'm actually not going to need the Orson's Hatchet or the Bronze Axe because of the strategy I'm using. All we need is the Silver Lance and the Bronze Sword. I'm fairly sure. What I can actually do is I can actually have her hold the Orson's Hatchet. Is that correct? I think this should work. The reason I'm doing this is because if I need to empty out Frederick's inventory later, I'll be able to do so. Oops, I didn't check the enemy skills. That's okay. We're good here. With Vantage, your chance of success here goes down a little bit, but not to 0. Oh, I wanted to check Sully's damage. That's what I wanted to do. So let's check Sully's damage. Oh, I see what happened last time. Okay, so yeah. We can do it with Sully's Dual Strike, but not if the enemy heals himself. That's why we didn't have enough damage last time, because of Nosferatu being so powerful. This is good. Vantage. Man, this guy keeps getting Vantage. But it's worth doing, because Long Q can dodge his attack. Okay, what is Sully's damage? 4 or 9. I'm just going to stick with the 4, because the 4 works as long as the enemy doesn't hit us, which we don't want the enemy to hit us anyway. Okay, 50% chance to dodge. Didn't get the crit. We did get the dual strike. So that's a good example of how you can win even without a crit. So we're not just relying on the crit. There's like a couple different lines that can lead to success. This guy is not a problem. Him having Luna is a little bit dangerous, but it's not like unwinnable. This guy's not dangerous. This guy is the most dangerous of the 3, I would say. So let's get rid of him. These guys actually, this is a really good configuration on these 3. And we also got rid of the Dark Mage on turn 1. So we're in a really good turn 1 position right now. Let's do this. Okay, so what we need is just to get a 55% chance dual strike. We got 2 chances. We didn't get it, of course. And I will say this, today's stream, every single time that we've had a good opener where I said, like, these 3 enemies, all we have to do is get rid of this guy, every single time we've failed the dual strike. Every time that I've said that today. And it's like a 70% chance of success, so we should have gotten it by now. At least on one of these attempts, we should have gotten it. I missed that this guy had that. That's fine, though. You can do this. So what you can do, if this guy has Aegis, you can pivot to this strategy. This guy doesn't have pass. You do need Rickon to land this attack, but it's one of those things where, like, yes, the RNG sucked, but there are still ways for me to recover. So I recovered there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually... This guy's a little bit too dangerous. Okay, so because of the way things shook out, I'm actually going to have Sumia hang back, stand here, and then I'm going to pull Rickon over here. He always moves into this spot below me. Okay, I think we're dead on the left-hand side because that guy survived. No, we're good. Lonku survives. Okay, now this guy sees the kill on Lonku, so he goes for Lonku, but we actually dodged him, so that's about as good as the left. The left side could be better, but that's like what we typically want to see on the left-hand side. This guy goes for Virion. And we're in pretty close to the same position. The only problem is now the enemies are actually blocking the fort. So we got the good RNG we needed on the left-hand side, but we got the bad RNG on the right-hand side. All we need to do is get an attempt where we get the good opener on the left and the good opener on the right. Once we get that, we'll pretty much be done with this hellish map. I think this guy can reach me if I stay here. Yeah. So how do I get through this position? I think what I would do from here is try to have Frederick clear out as many enemies as possible on the next turn. I think that's the play here. I think the play is to clear as many enemies as I can on this turn. This guy does not have counters, so I'm going to fight him. This is why we bring the bronze sword with us. If you get into a line of play like this... I didn't have anyone die yet, did I? No, I'm a little bit behind, but actually nobody has died yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have Frederick stand here at the bottom of the pass with the bronze sword equipped. We're going to trade with Sumia. We're going to get the vulnerary. We're going to use that. This is going to allow us to fight and kill a couple of enemies. This guy having pass actually works to our advantage because he... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can actually move behind Frederick. Let's get these two out of the way first. So this run is actually not quite over yet. So what we want to do is use Virion again like we did last time. We're going to bait the Dark Mage over here. He's gonna use pass to run past Frederick and attack Virion. This is going to leave the space in front of Frederick open, and this will allow him to fight and kill and clear out a few enemies on enemy phase. There are no enemy spawns on this turn. And Sully has enough HP that I think she can actually fight this guy on enemy phase with the Forged Iron Lance. Really solid level ups again. I'm going to switch to the Bronze Sword because we're not in a rush to kill this guy. Yeah, so let's do it like this. We're going to pull him off the fort by baiting him out to attack us. What I could also do, actually, is... He hits me for 19. Actually, I can't heal enough with the Vulnerary, so I can't keep Lanku in the front. So I'm going to do this instead. If this guy doesn't have Luna, you can keep Lanku in the front just by using the Vulnerary. So we're going to do this instead. He's going to attack Sully. Nice miss, you buffoon. Frederick's going to start clearing out enemies. Unfortunately, if this Dark Mage sees a kill on Frederick, he will go for Frederick. Okay, he doesn't. Nice. Nice. Even nicer. Counter. We can survive. We just need to not get killed by this flyer who's coming after us now. And we're good. This is a winnable attempt. It's not the best. This is actually a pretty bad opener, but it's winnable. We could potentially win from this position. So there's going to be a Dark Mage who's going to spawn here, so I'm going to have Sully stand here to block them. I'm going to have Chrom and Robin get rid of this flyer here. I can do it with the Thunder Tome and a Dual Strike. In fact, I can do it with the Fire Tome and a Dual Strike. 26 plus 19. Does he have any defensive skills? Oh, he has defensive skills. Okay, I'm going to have to use the Thunder Tome because he has defensive skills. He has Aegis particularly, which is the worst one he could have here. And no Dual Strikes again. I love it. I just love it when Dual Strike Man doesn't Dual Strike. That means we have to be a little bit wary about this guy next turn, especially because, actually, this guy's just going to kill Sully next turn, so this attempt's over. But I'll show you what I would do from this position. This is a really bad position. This attempt is like... This is where, like, your success rate drops from, like, 80% to, like, 20%. You could restart here if you wanted to. I usually play them out just to see. Unfortunately, as you're seeing, it's not going to work this attempt. The big problem is that I have to get rid of this guy here, which I can do. Now I've got a Myrmidon behind me, though, and in order to heal Frederick, I would have to stand in this tile where the Axe guy can kill me. There's just so many things wrong with this line of play. I'd have to do something insane like this. Even that wasn't enough healing. Then I would have to use another Rescue Staff charge to pull Maribel out. I could start splitting these two up at least for the next turn. Our chance already went from 20% to 0% though. This attempt's already over. That guy really likes Robin. Yeah, this time we got more enemies with Luna. You can see how the map is more dangerous when more enemies have Luna. However, keep in mind, if we were standing on the fort right now, we would be in a much better position. Alright, so that attempt failed. There was, is there anything else I wanted to do? Or I think our strategy is pretty good. We just have to get the good RNG on the left side and the right side now. If we can get the good RNG on both left and right side, then we will be set. So basically what we're looking for are attempts like this. This attempt is worth doing. We just need to get a crit. Like so. We didn't get our crit. We did get our crit, but I don't think Lanku is very likely to survive from this position. He has a chance to survive. So let's go for this strategy then. I actually don't think he has a chance to survive. I think I'm overestimating his chance, but we'll go for it anyway. Because his chance of dodging this guy is extremely low. Especially dodging that guy and both of these guys. Almost non-existent. Plus, these guys have counter, so like he'll kill himself when he attacks them. Yeah, there's like a million reasons why... You know, I'm just going to restart. There's like a million reasons why this won't go right. I'd rather do a 30-second restart rather than waste another 2 minutes on an attempt that's not going to work. So we're looking for successful attempts on the left-hand side, and then we just have to pivot those into successful right-hand side attempts. This is fine as long as we crit. You can play around counters. You can play around counter just by landing crits. We're not really getting the crits that we want though. I could check, like whenever Lanku survives on low health, you can actually check to see if you have a chance of winning from that position, because sometimes you do have a chance. But I think it's going to be faster for me if I just reset until I get the crit. This is fine. We just need to get a crit here. As soon as you get this crit opener, that's like all you need to start one good attempt. Wow. We didn't get 4 crits in a row with our 33% crit rate. And I'm pretty sure crit is not like evade. I don't think it uses like dual RN. I'm pretty sure like 33% is actually 33%. It's not like 20%. It's very strange that we're missing so many crits. We can't do this attempt. This guy has Pavis. If that guy has Pavis, you just can't do attempts. That's like the one thing that's the one thing you have to reset for in this chapter, is just if that guy has Pavis. Because if he does, Lanku cannot kill him. And Lanku has to kill him on turn 1. So we're on our fifth attempt in a row now. This is below average RNG. Typically you would get a good attempt before this. Yeah, we're getting really bad RNG. Typically this does not take 6 attempts. This takes about 4 attempts at maximum. Well, technically we only did 3 attempts so far. The others were just quick resets. So I guess, but still, even having to do this many quick resets is not normal. We can't do this attempt. Reset. You just can't do it with Pavis. It's just impossible. Try again. I'm actually looking forward to doing the attempt with on my main file with no grinding, because I think this strategy won't work. This is very close to the Lunatic strategy, and I don't think this strategy will work on Lunatic Plus. I think on Lunatic Plus what I'm going to have to do is actually send Frederick to the left, and then maybe Robin to the north, or send my entire army to the left. I'm not sure which strategy yet, but I have a feeling this strategy is not going to work. It would require too many resets. Oh my god. How many crits can I not get in a row? This is crazy. Streamer luck is how that goes. Well, the thing is, I've actually had this happen off stream before too. I've had to do like 10 attempts in a row before I landed a crit, despite having a 33% crit rate. It's crazy. It's absurd. It's stupid, but it happens. Pavis again, we're not counting that. But yeah, we're below average on RNG this time. We're up to like 4 serious attempts and over 10 quick resets. That's way below average RNG. Typically, you're going to have about 4 attempts maximum off of like 6 or maybe 7 quick resets. And even then, oftentimes you'll just get it on like the first attempt. Pavis again, I should have checked that. You just can't get past Pavis. And like this guy doesn't, there's not a really high chance for this guy to have Pavis either. Check the map. There we go. Okay, if we don't get the crit this time, I mean, the thing is, technically, like, conditional probability doesn't really exist. Like, yes, we've missed 5 crits in a row, but that doesn't make us any more likely to crit right now. This is still just a 33% chance to crit. We just didn't get it. Okay, we got the dodge, so that's fine. That's one of the ways you can win without getting the crit. Now we check these enemies, see who's the most dangerous. It's definitely this guy. Well, it's actually this guy. Because we can't let an enemy attack Lanku with a guaranteed hit rate. What we're relying on is Lanku's insane chance to dodge. Okay, that makes up for the bad RNG we got on earlier attempts. We finally got an attempt where we actually killed the two guys on the left that we wanted to kill. Now all we have to do is have Lanku survive engagement with these two enemies. However, I think this Myrmidon will actually attack Robin. That's what they've been doing lately. I've been noticing this Myrmidon really likes attacking Robin. Okay, we're set here. We go Silver Lance. We're going to attack with Rickon first. No, I'm not actually, because Rickon's position is going to depend on this enemy's HP. I would like to attack with Rickon. I would like to attack with Rickon first for experience reasons, but I think it's better to do it second. Okay, that's a pretty bad start. We're going to have to check what skill this guy has now, because our right-hand side might be screwed now. That's not too bad. This is kind of bad. We're not dead here, but we're not in a great position. I think I want to attack from here. This is going to be another 15. The problem is, because he has Pavis, I think Sumiya cannot kill him. I don't think Sumiya has enough damage against an enemy with Pavis. I could go for a crit here, or I could just let Frederick fight this guy. Oh no, what I should have done was attack from over here, so that Sumiya could move next to Frederick. That was a misplay on my part. Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind for future attempts, especially when I go back to my no-grinding attempts. We actually want to leave... If we think that we can't kill this guy, we want to leave the space open so that Sumiya can stand here. We have to move Rickon back. And then I'm not 100% sure what to do with Sumiya. Our Sumiya situation is a little bit tricky because... Oh, hold on. We can do that because we moved him out of the way. Okay, we're safe. So I want to equip him with the Bronze Sword and then pair up with him. This is going to increase his survival chance. Okay, he did go for Lanku, unfortunately. We're still pretty safe as long as Lanku dodges this attack. Yeah. So left-hand side is good. The left-hand side, as you're seeing... It seems like there's a lot of RNG, but it can actually be pretty consistent. Now, the problem with this setup is that the enemy might move on to the fort. He did not move on to the fort. Okay, we're actually in a really good opener. I'm very surprised because that turn 1 was very messy. But we're actually good here. The problem is we lost our ability to use Sumiya on this turn. The only way this opener could have been better is if Lanku was on full HP, and if we had Sumiya available, which we don't have. But overall, this is not a bad opener. Okay, this guy having... Luna is bad. This is like the worst guy to have Luna. If you were going to have one enemy have Luna, you would not want it to be this guy. Other than that, we're pretty good. Don't let me forget to use the defense tonic before the next attempt. So we're going to have to do this. On one of the future attempts, I'm gonna get an attempt where I'm able to clear out this Dark Mage, and you're gonna see how much we're having pretty good attempts right now, but this isn't even the best it could be. Like, if you get rid of this Dark Mage, it makes the entire rest of the map so much better, so much cleaner, so much easier. Unfortunately, we're not. We're getting like really sloppy turn 1 openers. Because of Nosferatu, I'm going to keep the Iron Bow equipped here. Okay, so unfortunately, Lanku can't stay in the lead here. So we're going to do this strategy. And we're going to chip this guy with the Fire Tome. Actually, I should have had Robin move first, so that I could end their turn next to each other. It's not a huge deal, but it's a huge deal. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it is a deal. Nice. Alright, so Frederick is still very likely to survive here. The issue is this guy with Luna. I think he has a pretty low hit rate against me, though. I'll check it after this attempt. Okay, so I'm going to check what this guy's hit rate is, just so we can see. Yeah, this guy's at, well, it's going to be higher than 10%. It's not going to be 45% though. It's going to be something like 20 to 30%. So it's a pretty low hit rate, and his attack power is 28 minus 9. So this guy will deal about 19 damage to Frederick, which is a lot. I'm not denying that. So this is like a more difficult attempt, but it's not an impossible attempt. Especially if we could get this flyer off of Frederick as soon as possible. We're just not able to do that because we're not getting the opening RNG that we need. So first, let me check everything. Let me check the entire situation over here. Okay, right now I feel really good about our situation on the left-hand side. The reason is because we can do this. Just need one dual strike. And because Sully is still on full HP, we can have her take the position on the fort now. The reinforcement from this fort will not reach this position right here. They can hit you if you're in the forest. They can't hit you if you're here. I might even be able to just kill this guy. No, I cannot. Okay, let's just hold this position. Then we're going to deal 6 damage to ourselves with counter. He's going to deal 9 damage to ourselves, and then we'll be alive. We have to get rid of this guy. We have enough damage. He doesn't have Vantage. So let's just kill him. If he has Vantage, what you can do is just heal Virion before attacking. We didn't need to do that because he did not have Vantage. Okay, so the problem now is that if we had gotten rid of the Dark Mage 1 turn sooner, what we could do is we could actually pull this guy with Luna away from Frederick, and that would massively increase Frederick's survivability. We do not have that option available to us because of the way things have played out. But this attempt is still very... There's about, I would say, 40% chance for this run to succeed, depending on what skills the remaining enemies are going to get. Yeah, he actually... That Myrmidon actually doesn't want to attack Sully, which is funny. Okay, so you want to dodge this guy as much as possible, but if he hits you, it's not a huge deal. This guy's not as scary. Okay, so the tricky part is going to be pulling out just one of these guys without pulling out multiple guys. What turn is it right now? It is turn 4. So at next turn, at the start of turn 5, there's going to be enemies coming out of all of these forts. Which means we have to do something like this. And also, by the way, you get a hand axe from this guy, which is massive. It helps replace the Orson's hatchet. Now this guy, I kind of have to get rid of him, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can actually get rid of this guy. Does she give plus move? She doesn't. I really have to get rid of this guy, but I just don't have the damage. With the Vake Parab, I can do it. God, Vake is so good. Top tier supporting unit, and he can even pivot into like a lead role later on. Okay, so that got rid of all the dangerous enemies. We can also unpair this group so that we have more actions available in the future. We can start moving our heal squad to the left. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up zone control here in the bottom left, and then we're going to have Frederick up here holding aggression. And then we're going to slowly pull the enemies over into the zone that we have control of. So this is the last turn of reinforcements. After this, we don't need to stand on the forts anymore. We don't have to block them. We can just move wherever we need to. Okay, we're dodging those Luna hits. That's good. Okay, now let's deal with the enemies who are coming at us one at a time. This one has physical... this one has Aegis, which has physical damage. So what we want to do is have Robin intercept him right now. Now I'm a little bit scared because there's a possibility that I'm reading the chart wrong. When it comes to reinforcements, but you know what? That's what trial and error is for. We're gonna find out right now. So if I understand the reinforcement chart wrong, then there's gonna be a guy who's gonna come out of here. If I understand it right, then there's no more reinforcements coming. So we're gonna do this. Robin is gonna kill this guy on enemy phase. This guy is gonna fly towards our southern army, which is fine because we want the southern group to fight him. We're going to heal Lonku. One good thing about units like Virion and Lanku who have low HP and high defense is that you can heal them with a regular heal staff instead of needing a mend staff. Good times. The setup is looking... Yeah, the setup actually looks pretty good. We can win from this position. We can get unlucky, of course. If Frederick gets hit too many times, we can still lose from this position. But it's very winnable. This is a very winnable position. Let me pull Vake out, because he's going to be the most useful unit next turn. Okay, so this is the... So when they say turn 5 reinforcements, what they mean is actually at the beginning of turn 6. So I will keep that in mind for future attempts. This is annoying though, because it blocks the... I wanted to kill this guy on enemy phase, and I couldn't do it because the Myrmidon moved into the position where the guy was supposed to move. It's not a big deal though. I can still kill these guys. I'm fairly certain. The good thing is at the north side of the map, none of these enemies will move until you aggro them. These enemies up here won't move until you aggro them. So you can take your time chipping away at the rest of the map. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to get rid of this guy, and then I need to have Robin kill one of these and have Virion kill the other. However, they need to be standing in such a way that they can survive combat with this guy, which I think Virion can do. This guy has 28 damage. Virion has 29 effective HP, so he can survive even without Sully. In fact, if he's standing here, he's actually totally safe anyway. Yes, this is pretty good. This is looking very good. So I think the next question is, can Sully survive combat with these guys? She actually can. Wow. So let's do it like... In fact, there might actually even be a better way. Let's do it like this. Transfer Lissa over. Trade with Sully so she has a sword equipped. And then attack this guy with our Forged Iron Bow. We got the crit, that's fine. We actually didn't need that crit, but it helped a lot, I will admit. Sometimes you just get crits. Sometimes you just get crits. That's just how it works. Hey, Face Palmer. Thanks for stopping by. The turn before was turn 4 with your Wyvern-only reinforcements. Afterwards, it becomes player phase turn 5. And then the enemy turn 5 reinforcements. No, because right now it's turn 6. Right now it's turn 6. So like when the wiki says enemy reinforcements on turn 5, what they actually mean is at the start of turn 6, unfortunately. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm doing the next attempt. What I wrote down as turn 5 reinforcements actually come at the start of turn 6, which makes sense. I understand why they wrote it that way, but it's just not the way that I was looking at it. Okay. To get rid of this guy, we could actually use Sully. Let me check. How much HP does he have left? 6. I'm going to use... What about Lanku? Lanku could do it. He has 100% hit rate, but the guy has Vantage and a crit chance. Okay, let's get... Let's get Robin into position first, because that's going to depend what else I need to do for the rest of the turn. Now, the strategy I came up with is that if Sully needed to stand here to kill this Wyvern, what I could do is then have Robin stand here so that the other enemy can't reach Sully. So this was my strategy for making it so that even if Sully moved into enemy range, she actually wouldn't be in any danger. So we need a dual strike here. We do get it. It's pretty likely to happen, but not always a guarantee, so you have to be careful. Okay, so either Lanku or Sully can kill this guy. He doesn't have a crit chance against Sully, so she's the better option, I think. Okay, so now on turn 6, there should be no enemies no enemies spawning, so I'm going to test that out. I'm going to see if anything spawns on this fort. They shouldn't do it. But it's always good to test. It's good to know for sure to check these things. From this position, I think we've won the map. The only thing that can go wrong now is if these enemies, if too many of these enemies get a successful hit against Frederick in the same turn, he'll die. That's bad, but this guy can only deal 16 to him, so he would have survived on 4 HP even if that last attack hit him. That was the perfect time to not get a dual strike. That was the perfect time to not get the dual strike because it didn't matter right there. All right, I'm gonna let Vake pick up this kill. No, I'm not. He can't survive. What about Sully? Sully doesn't deal enough damage. Lonku might, though. Let's pair up Lonku and Sully again. I think the Lonku Sully pair up is really good. It helps you a lot in this chapter, but it's also really good in the long term, I think. Okay, make sure we need 8 damage, not 4 damage. So we'll use the killing edge charge here. Vantage doesn't matter to me. So I think this attempt has actually succeeded. I don't think we can fail from here. Things would have to go very, very, very wrong for us to fail from this position. I'm going to be training Lissa. Maribel and Lissa are both good, but I've invested... Actually, you know, with that logic, it actually might be a better idea to invest into to Maribel. I'm going to keep that in mind for my next attempts. I'm going to be investing into Maribel instead of Lissa because Lissa's already level 13. She doesn't need any more experience. Alright, so we're going to set up our zone control over here. It's good to know that we don't need to block these forts. Frederick needs to survive one more turn. Oh yeah, Frederick could definitely still die here. And also, here's something, make sure you don't forget this. I've said it a couple times already today. After you trade items, Frederick will automatically re-equip his weapon. You have to unequip him so that he doesn't kill himself with counter. $11. So we should take 16 here if we even get hit. Yeah, this guy's hit rate against us must be very low. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's very low. It's around 30% at most. Alright, so how do we pull away just one of these enemies? That's the next thing we need to check. This spot right here is pretty good if we want to pull away just this brigand. The problem is I really want to pull away this guy. Is there a spot that only this guy can hit? No. What's the other enemy that can hit this tile? Oh, it's because his movement's actually not as high as I thought it was. This tile right here might actually be in danger from this guy. I think that would be my guess. Yeah. Alright, which direction do we want to start chipping from then? Honestly, so the big problem with getting rid of this guy is that this guy with Luna potentially moves into his position. But I think we're just going to have to risk that. Especially, we've been dodging attacks like crazy anyway. Alright, so let's use Chrom for this. We want to make sure that Chrom has enough speed to double. So we're going to use this pair up with a Fire Tome. Let me make sure Chrom can actually fight this guy. He does not have counter, so we are completely safe. We're going to go like this. We're going to start moving our other units over here. We're going to use the fort for healing. And yeah, let me start training Maribel. Just like this. Alright, this turn should go very well. We just need to get some more dodges. So the big scary thing is going to be what enemy is going to move to the south side of Frederick. If it's an enemy with Luna, we might be in danger. If it's a regular enemy without Luna, we should be totally safe. You can also make this strategy more consistent, by the way, if you give Virion as Frederick's pair-up, because then you'll have an extra 3 points of defense minimum, or even more. Okay, if that hit, we would still be on 4 HP, so we're totally fine. This looks scary, but it's actually nowhere near as scary as it looks. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this guy out. There's definitely a big part of me that wants to use Chrom again here. What is his speed? 17. Our current speed is 18. I'll use the Forged Iron Sword, I think. Does it have the best accuracy? Yes. Let's make sure we can actually fight him safely. Yeah, he doesn't have any dangerous skills. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass Maribel over to Rickon. I'll pair up with Virion. Go like this. Let's use a Men's Staff just to make sure Chrom's on full. We're going to split up these units. Fred won't die to a freak accident. We're going to be totally fine. Okay, we're going to split these two up. We're going to have these units move a little bit closer so they're on standby in case I need them. Now that I know that I don't need to block these forts, it makes my strategy a lot less dangerous. Okay, because our HP is getting a little bit low, I will use another Vulnerary here. I don't think we need to, but I'm going to do it anyway, just in case. Just playing around the worst case scenario. Dual guards always help. Dual strikes always help. Yeah, that guy having Luna is a problem. This guy... totally not threat. Honestly, if we could get one of these Wyverns on the south side, it would be so much nicer, because if I can draw out one of the Wyverns, we'll be even safer. I wonder if there's a tile that only this guy can hit. Not really. We'd have to be able to stand right here, but we can't do that without Sumia. So yeah, if you want to make this even more consistent, what you could do is you could pair up... well, I don't know. I think the bonus res from Sumia is actually more valuable than bonus defense from Callum would be. I'm not sure. Could go either way, perhaps. Okay, this guy having Luna is dangerous, but not a deal breaker. This guy having Vantage isn't a problem. We'll just heal ourselves after we hit him. He missed us anyway. You buffoon. Alright, we'll get Mirabelle out of there. So, you just go like this. You just chip the enemies out one at a time. And this allows you to also feed experience to whoever you want. Instead of solely training Frederick, you get to give experience to whoever you want. And then on top of that, it makes it so that Frederick can never kill himself with counter. So this strategy is actually even sick. Like, if you think having Frederick stand on the fort and kill everything is a good strategy, this strategy is even better. Because there's no chance for Frederick to kill himself with counter. It can never happen. This guy having counter is scary. I have to make sure, if Chrom stands here and fights him, I have to make sure that I can't kill myself. Which is going to require doing some calcs. So we've got 22 attack. Minus 4. That would be 18 damage to ourselves. 18 plus 18 would not kill this guy. So we cannot fight this guy. Especially because he has Hawkeye, so we can't even rely on a dodge. So we can't fight this guy, so we have to do something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move off of this tile. I don't want Robin to get the kill. I'm going to let Virion get it. Transfer Robin over. Our Bronze Bow should be pretty much guaranteed to kill here. Yes. Virion is a really good unit. Oh, that was a misplay. I thought I had way more damage than that. We can absolutely still recover from here. So, first thing I'm going to try is this. I don't like wasting Levin Sword charges, but... okay. So we're fine. Now what we need to do is we need to draw this Barbarian out with a character that can survive his attack and won't kill themselves with counter. This guy's going to deal 28, 25 to Vake. I have a solution. I think I can make it work. I want to see if Sully can stand here, though. 28 minus 9. Sully can do it instead. I'm going to do Sully and Lonku. Actually, Sully and Vake's better. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to unequip my weapon. And I'm going to let him run over and attack me. He can't kill me. He can only hit me for 20-something damage. Frederick's totally fine. The fort is actually healing him for free. Dual guards always help. So yeah, we get hit for 17. We don't damage ourselves with counter. Okay. This guy moved into here at the worst possible time. Okay, whoever stands down here now, we have to make sure they can survive combat with this guy. So I think for this, we're going to have to put Robin in the lead. Is there any way for me to get Chrom and Robin together? I don't think I can do it anymore. I could potentially... 28 minus 8. Okay, I think I have a way to do it. Killing Edge. Pair up with Chrom. I might be wrong, but I think I can do this. Okay, this is actually a problem. Let me deal as much damage as I can. Well, could I use the Lonku pair up? Can I use the Lonku pair up here? For speed. How much speed do I need? 12. Plus 5 speed. Yeah, I can use the Lonku pair up here for speed. I think this works. Transfer Lonku over. Go like this. I'm gonna go for crits and dual strikes here. Perfect. We didn't even need to do all that, we just got a crit anyway. Okay, next I'm gonna get Sully out of there. Move her to safety. Now, in order to deal with this flyer, who has a 100% hit rate, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm going to... Okay, I slightly messed up what I wanted to do, but it's not a huge deal. It just means that I can't actually get these two together anymore. Wait, yes I can, yes I can. This is why I did it this way. Okay, I'm gonna go like this. Iron Bow. Let me make sure I've got all the items equipped that I want. I want the Falchion equipped here. I'm going to give Chrom to Robin. So now Chrom has their Robin pair up. I'm going to switch to the Fire Tome. I'm going to switch to Lonku. And I'm going to use a Bronze Sword here. Because I actually don't need to kill this guy. I just need to fight him once and survive. Now this will make it so that the enemy will attack Lonku. This flyer is going to fly out and attack Lonku, who they cannot kill. And then on the following turn, I can have my other units jump them and kill them. Is Frederick safe? Yes, he is. Let's go. The only way this can go wrong is if this guy for some reason decides to stick to Frederick, but I don't think he will. Yeah, he won't. He'll attack Lonku because he deals way more damage to Lonku. Okay, this is perfect. We've almost cleared out all of the enemies here. Once we clear out these enemies, the only very scary thing left after you clear out the enemies is the boss. Because once you trigger aggro here, the boss will start moving, and they will like fly towards your whatever unit they think they can kill. So you have to do, once you get to the second half of the map, you have to set things up so that you clear all 5 of these, or as many of these wyverns as you can on a single turn. And then on the next turn, you have to be ready to kill the boss before he can do anything to you. Which is tricky because he has a 2-range weapon, and it's actually a high crit weapon if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of considerations for what to do on the second phase of the map. But you can make a plan where you can almost guarantee success here. It's not like the beginning of the map where you're being rushed by a billion enemies and you have no time to respond. You can stop, you can think, you can make a plan for exactly which direction you want to engage from depending on which skills these enemies have, and set up a way to almost guarantee yourself a success rate. $21's not enough. I can do it with the Wolf Bow. I'm actually just going to do Bronze Bow Chip. And then potentially... Gotta make sure these guys can't actually move to this tile. No, they can't. Okay. Can I get this kill with the Falchion? Yes, I can. So let's do that. Get some nice experience onto Chrom. The good thing about the Chrom and Sumia pair, by the way, is that as long as they get to C rank, you don't really need to worry about raising their support beyond that, because they will automatically get married, and they'll jump all the way to S rank automatically. So what I like to do is get these two, Chrom and Sumia, to C rank right away, and then have her get to like A rank with Frederick, and just fight with Frederick for the rest of the early chapters. And then she jumps to S rank with Chrom automatically. Okay. I'm going to talk about Charm. It's another really good skill. It gives hit and avoid +5 to all allies within 3 spaces. This can help a lot with cases where you have like an almost consistent but not 100% consistent hit rate. The other thing is that it also works when you're in the back. So Chrom himself is a very good support unit, but what makes Charm even better is that you just pair him up with somebody. He gives +5 hit to that person, he gives +5 avoid to that person, and he gives the same buff to everybody within 3 tiles. Which is, that's a really large aura. It might not seem like a lot. I know 5% doesn't seem like a lot. But the thing is that Lunatic Plus is sort of like going to a casino. You have to play your odds. If you can improve your odds by 5% and you're going to fight 100 combats, you absolutely want to improve your odds by 5% before you go and fight the next 100 combats. Like, it would be crazy not to do that. And then I talked about it during the last stream, but Robin has a very similar skill. It's called Solidarity. It gives +10 crit to your allies, and it also... the +10 crit is good, but what's really, really good is actually the +10 dodge. What that does is it reduces enemy crit chance by 10%. A lot of times, when enemies have a very small crit chance, what you can do is just have Robin paired up with them, or even just have Robin stand next to them, and it removes the crit chance. And this is not even like the casino comparison. This literally takes it so that there's a... Excuse me. This makes it so you don't have to take chances against enemies where they have a low crit chance. Instead, you can make it so that it's guaranteed so that they will never crit you. It's very important. Solidarity is even better than... I think Charm is good. I think Solidarity is even better because it can create chances where enemies have a 0% crit rate against you. What you can do if you need these enemies to move around is, now that there's only 4 left, you can actually have Frederick move off the fort. I'm going to keep him here anyway and just wait and see what I'm going to do next turn. Yeah, this guy doesn't like to move, unfortunately. The problem here is that I think all 4 of these guys actually have the same overlapping attack range now. No, I'm wrong. I can actually pull out just the flyer. Okay, so now I have to find an enemy, a character who can fight this guy safely. It's going to be tricky because he has Luna and counter. So I think I need to do what I did last time. I'm going to have somebody bait him with and not trigger counter. So he's going to deal 28 damage minus half of my character's defense. Robin can definitely take it. So I think I'm just going to use Robin. I'm going to put all of my best support partners next to me. I'm going to make sure I have nothing equipped. I'm going to heal Lonku. Who's my next best support partner? It's either Lonku or Lissa. I think I have better support ranks with Lissa, but I kind of want to build support with Lonku. So let's do this. Let's get these 2 to C rank if we can. Anytime soon. Okay. So this right here, because a couple more lurkers just showed up, I'm going to explain what I'm doing. This is called zone control. After clearing out the enemies, the initial enemies on the first turn, what I do is I create a safe zone on the south side of the map. All of my units down here, this is like my support team. My support team is completely safe right now. There's nothing the enemies can do to us because their AI is coded so that they will continue to attack Frederick. I have Frederick stand here with no weapon equipped, so that he can never kill himself with counter. The enemies will keep attacking him, they can't kill him, the fort will keep healing him back to full, and then I use my zone control to pull out enemies one at a time and just kill them safely. Which you're seeing happen right now. So these enemies are going to attack Frederick. Now this guy is going to fly out, they're going to attack Robin because they see they can do a ton of damage to Robin. Unfortunately, they cannot kill Robin. There was no chance for Robin to get killed there. They would deal 28 damage, less than 28 damage with no crit. Robin is completely fine, guaranteed survival. Now I'm going to equip my Fire Tome. I'm going to start fishing for dual strikes. Go with the Iron Bow. This guy can't counter at 2 range, so we're totally safe. He has no Vantage. So if we get a unit who can just, like, deal 13 damage to him, we can just kill him outright. I wonder if Vake can actually do it. 7. No, not close. What I could actually do... Okay, so this is a good pair-up. Vake and Lonku is a really good pair-up because it gives bonus attack power to Lonku, which helps him a lot with getting kill thresholds. And they actually do support with each other. So over the long term, you could get these 2 to have a C support, which helps in the early game. And you could even have them get an A support by the end of the game, if you really wanted to. Because Robin took damage, we can heal again. I'm going to start using heal staff charges. I don't want to waste my mend staffs. Plus, healing more times will get more experience onto Maribel. Okay, now the tricky part is that all 3 of these enemies have the same attack range. So what I need to do is pull out just... I need to go to the left-hand side of the map and pull away just this mage. I need to start chipping away from the left side. So let's start moving our group to the left. Now our group has basically taken over this entire section of the map. And very soon we're going to have the entire south side of the map. As long as you don't accidentally pass... you could pass the hand axe to Vake. Yeah, well, honestly, I actually want Frederick to use the hand axe in the upcoming chapters. And the hand axe is so valuable that it's actually not worth using it in this chapter at all. I do not like using the hand axe until chapter 6, if possible. I will use it in... Or sorry, I actually don't like to use it until chapter 7. I will use it in chapter 6 if I have to, but I typically like to save all of my hand axes for chapter 7 because it is really that valuable. Like, it is to the point where you want all 25 charges. So I could give it to Vake now, like as an emergency like option, but it's actually better to just not use it at all. So we do have to slowly move our way over here. What I could have done instead, watch out, don't land on that fort. What I could have done instead actually was just have Frederick move down here, and then these enemies would move past Frederick. But I think this is going to take longer, but it's a little bit safer. That strategy has potential to go wrong. Okay, I don't really want to rely... I don't want to keep relying on Robin for everything, but is there anybody else who can fight this mage at 2 range? 21 damage. The problem is Virion can't fight him because he'll move into 1 range with Virion. So I think I have to do... I think I have to rely on Robin again. Unfortunately, we can't minimize our crit chance, but I think we'll be fine. What I could do is actually maybe just draw him out and then fight him in a better location. If I was going to do that, I would think I would do it like this. Actually, I'm not sure. What is his damage? 21? The reason this is better is because Chrom has a much lower chance of getting crit. And he has a higher speed, which is a better chance to dodge. Yeah, I think this is better. Chrom won't be able to counterattack, but it doesn't matter. We're just drawing this enemy out. Okay, this should pull this guy off of Frederick now. Okay, perfect. Let me make sure that guy didn't have a crit chance now. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, I think I could actually just... If I had enough damage, I could actually just kill him, but I'm not going to do that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4... I don't think Lissa... Yeah, okay, we're safe. We're gonna get another heal. Let's pair up with Rickon so we get bonus magic. If you pair up with Rickon, your staff heals for more, which is helpful in situations like this. Okay, let's get my other units closer so that they can move in. We're looking for chip experience, chip damage, weapon rank, support ranks, all of that good stuff. And pulling this guy over here makes it so that we don't have to worry about the other flyer running out and attacking us. Dual guard, that always helps. Alright, so let's see who can fight this guy safely. I'd like Lonku and Sully, but Lonku and Virion is actually... It's better to start with Lonku and Virion. Sorry, Sully and Virion. Yes, this should be totally safe. 19, he can't crit us. Got the dual strike, that's even better. Now, I think Lonku can fight him safely. Yes, this is totally safe, no crit rate. We're going to transfer Sully over. This is the Sully transfer support chain that I was showing off in the last stream. Another reason she's really good as a support unit is because of the fact that she pairs with Virion and she pairs with a lot of other physical attackers. What you can do... I think this is not a coincidence, by the way. They have her join the game at the same time as Virion. And what you can do is you can have her and Virion pair up. Virion can shoot somebody. Sully gets a chance to dual strike. Then your Lonku moves into the space next to Virion, takes Sully. Now you can have either Lonku or Sully attack in the lead position. We have to be careful because he's going to cut our damage in half, though. Can Sully fight him? Yes, she can. I'm actually going to have Sully fight here, because she's a lower level than Lonku. I'd rather get experience onto Sully if I can. So we're going to have to use our Forged Iron Lance here for the extra damage. Yeah, otherwise we would have had to rely on a dual strike. I don't like I like when dual strikes happen. I do not like relying on dual strikes. Two very different things. So in that case, I went with the option where I could win even if I didn't get a dual strike. Start using forts to heal. And then all I need to do now is pull the Myrmidon out. We should be able to pull him to the left. These enemies can no longer do anything to Frederick. In fact, it might actually be a good idea to have Sumia fight. It might actually have a good idea to have Sumia fight him. I don't think she can fight both of them safely. Yeah, she would take too much damage, but if Frederick can get out of this guy's range, so this guy would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he can only attack here. So yeah, if Frederick and Sumia fly away, Sumia can fight this guy very safely. Oh, well, hold on. She's going to damage herself with counter. So that's 13 plus 8 is 21. She could actually survive this. So let's do this. Let's also equip our bronze sword. We actually want dual strikes here if we can get them. Our best support unit for Sumia right now would be Chrom if we can get him all the way over there, which I think we actually can. We're going to put Chrom behind Sumia. I transferred him over to the wrong person. Where's Chrom? I thought I could have sworn I just transferred Chrom right here. Oh, Chrom was standing on the fort the whole time. I'm a buffoon. Okay, hold on. We can still do this. It's just way more clumsy than I was intending. Go like this. Pass Chrom over here, which is what I was trying to do. I don't know who I was holding, but apparently it was not who I thought. Okay. Go like this. I would like you to heal Virion, please. I never picked him up. Yeah, he was standing on the fort the whole time. I was completely spacing out there. This is that thing that happens when I get close to like the 3 hour mark on a stream. Totally safe there. If that guy hit us, we would have been alive with 2 HP. Keep that in mind. So that was not a risk. That was totally guaranteed. Okay, now the tricky thing is killing this guy while being able to survive fighting the axe guy. I think the solution is... Actually, I have a really funny solution, but I think it works. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to unequip my weapons. I'm going to transfer Sumia over to Chrom. Next, I'm going to pair up Sully, so I give Frederick boosted defense. Now all I need to do is put somebody in a position where they can fight this guy. And I think the option is Sumia. She doesn't deal enough, and she would kill herself this time. Killer Lance isn't enough. Iron Sword isn't enough. Okay. I can still get away from this guy, though. In worst case scenario, I can just get away from him. Let me get Long Ku out of here. He's definitely not going to fight this turn. I'm going to move Sumia over here. And... wait. I'm going to have Rickon and Maribel heal Sumia. So next turn she can fight if I need her to. Unfortunately, she's not. This doesn't actually take her to full HP. The tricky thing too is in a normal playthrough, let's say you gain like +1 defense, that could like save you from lethal damage. But in Lunatic Plus, sometimes if you level up and you get +1 attack and +1 defense, this doesn't save you because then the +1 defense you gain is counteracted by the fact that you deal 1 extra damage to yourself with counter. By the way, this guy has pass, so the retreat strategy would not have worked anyway. We actually need to do the opposite. We need to do a strategy where we only fight this guy on the next turn. Kind of amusing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull just this guy out. But again, unfortunately, I can't actually fight him safely with the counter damage. So I'm going to have to sandbag a little bit. This is why having Frederick run down here and pull the enemies out would not have been good, because look at how difficult this situation is with just these 2 enemies. Now imagine if the mage was still alive. If I had all 3 of those enemies down here and I was trying to solve like a puzzle like this where like these guys have counter, one of them has pass. However, I do want to stress and I want to point out the importance of what's happening here. I'm fighting 2 enemies with counter and 1 enemy with pass, and I'm producing guaranteed results. Like, there is no chance for me to get a game over here. If you have the right strategies and you have the right planning, like, you can always win, even on Lunatic Plus, even when the enemies get the worst possible skills, even when they have counter, even if both of these guys had counter and Luna, I guarantee you I could still win from here. Especially with this guy having pass, that actually works in my favor. And if he didn't have pass, then he could still reach this tile. So I would still be able to do it. And if he couldn't, then I would just bait them into a different position. Like there's always an option. There's always something that you can do to fix, to like correct for the bad RNG. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take off my equipment. And this is going to pull out the Barbarian. He has a 0% crit rate. He only does 10 damage to me. Totally fine. I'm completely safe. I'm going to have to sandbag one more turn so I can pull him into a position where my other units can attack him. And then after this, we're going to be fine. So because he has counter, my strategy is going to be to chip him with my chip characters. And then finish him off with like one devastating attack. Frederick is totally fine. Even without the fort, Frederick is like totally fine here. If we get into a position where we can rotate Sumia into the lead, Sully into the lead. No, sorry, we don't have Sumia here anymore, so we're not going to do that. Previous turn situation, you could just slow roll it since their enemy range is desynced by utilizing Sumia's movement and Mend to do a ring around the rosy. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're doing. We're just... what we did is we used the advantage of this corner here and the fact that the enemy had pass. So this guy, if he wants to get past Frederick, he has to go all the way around through this forest. Whereas this guy down here, because he has pass, he can just go right through here. And that really desynchronized the enemy attack ranges. That gave us like way more options for playing around. Alright. I'm going to get Mirabelle out of here. There's no reason for her to fight right now. I'm going to do this. Equip my Fire Tome. Do as much damage as we can here. Nice, we got the Dual Strike. It didn't matter, but it's nice to get it when you can. Chrom is already level 10, so I'm going to actually start training Lanku. Can I kill this guy before he kills me? Yes, with the Vague Pair Up. Once again, the Vague Pair Up to the rescue. You go like this, you get the extra damage. You one-shot this guy. If you one-shot him, then he can't deal counter damage to you. Okay, next I'm going to see if Chrom and Sumia can take out this guy here safely. I'm gonna actually keep Frederick here because this is a really good position for holding this guy in the corner. You don't really like Awakening, you're just curious. Well, I mean, this is more of a chat... Okay, so this is intended to be more of a chat stream, but it's just I'm playing Awakening while chatting. But because I'm playing Awakening while chatting, we just mostly end up chatting about Awakening. Especially because chat hasn't really been too active, which is fine. Sometimes chat's active, sometimes it's not. I just have to deal with it. Okay, I need the excuse me, I need the Frederick pair up to deal enough damage to one-shot this guy. So I'm gonna do this. It's very frustrating. Gotta like move my units all around in a weird position. I'm kind of curious how you got recommended this stream if you don't like Awakening. I guess probably just from other Fire Emblem stuff. Or maybe you've watched some of my other streams. I'll heal Frederick just in case. Okay, so next turn I should be able to pair up Frederick and Sumia. They can one-shot this guy and that will play around counter. Everything is just about sandbagging as much as possible. You just always sandbag. You take as long as you need to get into position and to get the kills set up. The problem is if I miss, which is actually pretty likely to happen. We're fine. Sometimes after a 45-minute long chapter, you just want to take a risk. You beat Conquest Lunatic a lot of times, but playing Awakening is a trip. Conquest, I have a video I'm working on where I talk about Lunatic Plus, and I definitely talk about the exact thing that you guys are talking about. The kind of gameplay that most Fire Emblem players enjoy, which is very deterministic. Conquest is probably the best game for that kind of deterministic gameplay. Whereas Awakening offers a completely different experience. Awakening is a game that offers dynamic difficulty instead of deterministic difficulty. So in Conquest, if you make the same moves starting from turn 1 to turn 10, the same thing will basically always happen. And so if you make a so the puzzle of Conquest is coming up with a strategy where making the same 10 moves in a row will guarantee you a victory. Awakening is different. It's dynamic difficulty. What that means is that every single turn, the outcomes are going to be different, and the puzzle is figuring out how to maximize your odds of success on turn 1. And then after turn 1 plays out, you're going to be in a completely dynamic position. It's not going to be the same as like what would normally happen on a different turn 2. Then you have to find out, how do I maximize my odds of success on turn 2? And then after turn 2, you're going to get to a turn 3, which is going to be even more different because you had randomness on turn 2, now you have randomness on turn 3. So then you have to find the best odds of success to maximize your chances on turn 3. And then by the time you get to turn 4 on 100 different attempts, every single turn 4 is going to look completely different. Whereas if you did 100 attempts on Lunatic Conquest, you could make it so that you could play 100 times in a row, and basically every turn 4 would almost look exactly the same. Facepalmer says they have not even played Conquest yet. Interesting. Alright, so let's look at the enemy skills that we have to deal with and figure out which ones we want to bait out. This guy having counter is a massive difficulty. This boss having counter, especially because he has 1-2 range, makes him extremely scary. I will probably need to have Frederick fight him. No. I need to have Robin fight him. The problem is that this guy also has counter, which means Robin has to fight this guy. So Robin has to fight this guy, and Robin has to fight this guy, and as you can imagine, Robin cannot fight both of them at the same time. That's going to cause problems. What I could do... I think what I want to do... This guy having Luna is also a problem. So I think what I want to do is Luna and Aegis as well. Luna and Aegis is really bad on this guy. It's going to make him very difficult to eliminate, and it's also going to make him very... This is actually what I love about Awakening. This right here, the situation we're in right now, this is what I absolutely love about Awakening. Is the fact that every one of these enemies has different skills every single time you play. So I can't just go here and be like, oh, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what moves to make to always get rid of these 5 enemies. I have to look at each enemy, see which skills they have, and then figure out. So like in this attempt, this enemy is very dangerous. Because of his combination of skills, he's going to be very difficult to get rid of, and he's also going to have a very high damage output. However, because he doesn't have Hawkeye, we can evade his attacks. Odd Panda is suggesting we use Robin with Elwyn. Yeah, using Robin with Wind Magic is going to be the play. The problem is we need Robin to kill this guy, and we need Robin to kill this guy at the same time, and Robin can't kill both of them at the same time. So what we have to do is devise a strategy where we can split up these enemies. And the way I want to do that is to pull, ideally, these 3 enemies all to the right, if I can. So I'm going to try to do that. What I'm going to have to do is Frederick with... Because they're physical attackers, I think Frederick with Virion might be better. Who does he have supports with right now? Unfortunately, he doesn't have supports with anyone who gives him defense. So I think Virion might be the best option, but the problem is that takes Virion off the table on the left-hand side. No, I think Vake is the best option because it's not only going to give him the most defense, but it's also going to... but Vake is also the least... Vake is going to be the least useful person to have on the left-hand side, whereas Virion is very useful on the left-hand side. So putting Vake with Frederick on the right-hand side is taking away our least valuable unit over here and maximizing our defense over here. You think that Awakening's randomness, coupled with a lot of its other mechanics and design, gave you a large distaste for it. By contrast, FE6 has a fair amount of improvisation, turn by turn, and you liked it. I understand that. I understand that position completely. I like FE6 for the same reasons. The only difference is that up until right now, I believe that nobody... I don't know. I don't want to sound extremely arrogant when I say this. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anyone else. I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone else. But I think nobody has ever really tried to solve Awakening Lunatic. Like, there have been players before me who have been better than me. but they just never really tried to do it. I think I have solved Lunatic Plus in a way that no one has ever done before. That's why I'm doing these streams. I'm showing that you can make this game completely 100% consistent. Like, you're literally seeing me do it in real time. I am showing you that it is possible to make this game 100% consistent. It's actually less random than FE6. It has the same dynamic difficulty, but it's actually more deterministic than FE6, because once you understand how to play around each of the enemy skills, you can actually make it, like I said, it's essentially close to 100% consistent. What you typically need to do is reset a few times on turn 1 to get like a strong turn 1 opener, and then from that position, your chances of success are usually around 80%, and then you just increase them with each turn. Like, your odds of success just go up and up with each turn. It becomes more consistent as the battle goes on. Okay. So we're gonna try to do an opener that allows Robin to kill as many enemies as possible while drawing out the enemy aggression. If I can kill 2 enemies on the same turn, that would be ideal. However, I don't think I can fight these 2 on the same turn. I think I can only fight one of them. Especially because this guy has Luna and this guy has counter. On the next turn, I'm going to use Robin to kill this guy while pulling these guys to the right with Frederick. Then, on the following turn, I'm going to pull this guy back to the left and then kill him with Robin. Most people don't give it a chance because all they see is the random skills. Yeah, that's exactly it. And like I said, I have a video coming out where I'm going to talk about all this. It's actually turned out to be very long. It ended up being like an hour-and-a-half discussion, but I'm talking about how people don't even give the game a chance, and that's the so because nobody actually tried to ever solve the game. Let's say a completely new person. Let's just call him Fred. Let's say Fred really wants to play Lunatic Plus Awakening, and he tries it, and the game completely rips him apart on Chapter 0, and he has no idea what he did wrong. He goes on the internet, and he tries to find information. He tries to figure out how do I play Lunatic Plus? How do I beat Chapter 0? And the only thing he finds is like 150 posts of everybody saying that the game mode is unplayable and there's no way to play it and you can't make it fair, you can't make it consistent. And then Fred just goes, well, okay, then I guess that must be true. I guess it's completely unfair. I guess there's no way to make it consistent. However, if he went to YouTube and he looked up my video where I showed how to beat Chapter 0, and I showed all the steps where you can make it 100% consistent. I explained all of the game mechanics, I explained all of the enemy skills and how to play around them. I guarantee you that within about 2 hours, Fred, our made-up person, Fred, could absolutely beat Chapter 0 of Lunatic Plus. It doesn't come down to randomness, it's not RNG dependent, it would be skill-based. He would learn the skills that you need to beat Lunatic Plus, and then he would use those skills to beat Lunatic Plus. That's what I mean when I say that I have solved the game in a way that I don't think anyone else ever has before. Because there's no other guides like this. I looked for them myself. I did not find... The only guides I found are ones that tell you to have your units hide in the corner and just spend 100 turns waiting for the enemy weapons to break. That's not how to play it. I'm playing the game the way that you play a normal Fire Emblem game, but I'm actually succeeding. Alright. Let's start doing some calcs. 28 minus... We're going to have more defense. We're going to have... how much defense are we going to have? That's the question. Who are our pair-up options? I'm going to go with Sully. She doesn't offer anything to anyone else. No, I think we have to use Chrom because we need these dual strikes, and Chrom has the best chance of dual striking. Okay. So we're going to have 28 minus 8 damage. So we're going to take 20 damage from this guy's attack. Yeah, there's no way we're going to be able to fight the other one. We could potentially dodge here, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. So let's go with the safe strategy. Let's use Thunder here. Having Sumia here is usually good because she can fly over the cliffs in either direction as needed. Our other support units, I'm actually going to pull them back. We're going to give the Elwind Tome. No, I think Robin needs to keep the Wilderwind Tome, and Ricky needs to keep the Elwind Tome in case we have to use it in an emergency case. These 2 units can be here to jump in as needed. Sully can be here to ferry units around as needed. I think the reason why is that I think the reason why that is the case is because a lot of people first game was Awakening. They beat it on hard and then try Lunatic. And then they go to Lunatic Plus, they can't do it, and they just leave. Yeah, I mean, it's because Lunatic Plus is a completely different beast than anything else. I think there's no other Fire Emblem difficulty in any other Fire Emblem game that plays the same as Lunatic Plus. This is just, it's completely different from how you play every other Fire Emblem. And that's the reason why people like haven't been able to figure it out, haven't been able to solve it. Is because they're trying to use their strategies that work in normal Fire Emblem, and it's just not, it just can't work. Like, it just doesn't work, so they can't do it. Let's do this. The gulf between hard and even regular Lunatic is incredibly steep in a non-turn wheel mode. At least 3 houses gives New Game Plus and training wheels, yeah. And also, maddening is nowhere near as difficult as Lunatic Plus. I think Lunatic Plus is the hardest, but also the most fun and most interesting game mode that has ever existed in Fire Emblem. I don't think it's even close. Alright, so we got a pretty good setup here. This guy will attack us at 2 range because of the fact that he has a Tomahawk, so we actually might be good here. So the play might be... Let me make sure we can actually survive here. The problem is if this guy gets into 1 range and triggers counter. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll attack at 2 range, but it's weird. Sometimes they just do it anyway. They don't know that they have counter. I know for a fact they don't know that they have counter. So it's not that. It's just sometimes they're supposed to move into 2 range, but sometimes they move into 1 range anyway. I think that usually only happens if they have 2 different weapons. So I think I'll be fine here. I'll test this because this information will be useful for my future attempts. Okay, so the issue is I have to kill this guy. If I miss this dual strike, I'm in a lot of trouble. And, well, hold on. This guy can only do 28 minus 16 damage to me. This guy can only do 12 damage to me if he even hits. This guy would do 29. He doesn't have Luna. Minus 16. This guy we'd actually only take 25 damage here in the worst case scenario, so I think this is worth going for. Can I do it with the Fire Tome? I think I can. This takes crits off the table, but it still works as long as we get our dual strikes. Nice. Is that seriously? Wait, is that the Falchion, or did I equip the wrong weapon? Oh my god, the Falchion is doing 20 damage to these guys. That's crazy. Alright, so now the boss is going to fly over here and attack Robin. Robin should be guaranteed to survive here. The only way we can die is if the enemy for some reason flies into 1 range and to use the Tomahawk, which that wouldn't really make any sense. Now Frederick should be safe from this guy. The most damage he can deal is 18 damage to Frederick. So Frederick is safe here. We do have to worry about Vantage, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah. We're only going to take 20 damage at most here. So we split up the enemies. So what we did here, I gotta highlight this again. I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. I'm never going to stop saying this until at least like 5 people on the internet agree that Lunatic Plus is not unplayable. I'm demonstrating it. I am showing you. I am playing the game. It is playable. I looked at the enemy skills. I saw which matchups were best, and then I put my units. I put Robin on the left side because Robin matched up better on the left side. I put Frederick on the right side because Frederick matched up better on the right side. And I won because I used strategy. I did not win because of RNG. I won because I used strategy. In fact, I'm actually making riskier plays here. Okay. That should be fine. Luna, even if we didn't dodge that, we would have only taken 20 damage, so we're totally fine here. There is only like 1 good Lunatic video with like 34,000 views, and that's it. I don't think I saw that when I was searching. Is it like an actual guide, or is it just like somebody beating the game? Because sometimes, like, sometimes you do find videos of like people beating the game, but they don't actually explain what they're doing. They don't teach anyone else how to do it. But who knows? I have a feeling my video is either going to get a lot of views or it's going to get like no views. It's like there's not going to be any in between. It's going to be like it's going to be like groundbreaking. People are going to be like, oh, like wow, like an actual real Lunatic Plus guide, or because people already don't care about Lunatic Plus, they're not even going to bother to look at my video, and they're just going to continue to say that it's unplayable. This guy doesn't have Vantage, so we're 97% chance to kill him here, plus a 50% 6% chance to dual strike. Plus, even if he hits us, we don't die. So this is guaranteed. Yeah, even if he hits us, we don't die. Doesn't matter. I almost wonder if I should have gone in and attacked with a sword so that I could get sword break. No, that guy had counter, of course. No reason not to just kill this guy, right? Well, I'll stand on the fort. There you go. Okay, now, that was the... I honestly think that that section right there is almost impossible to lose. You can, if you make a mistake. If you make a mistake, the boss can kill one of your units, and then you would have to reset from that position. From this position, if you can lose from here, I have some bad news for you, because it is almost impossible. Like, it would be impossible to lose from this position. Like, you would have to make the most insane, unforced errors imaginable. There's only 3 enemies. They don't have... I don't think they have linked behavior. I'm pretty sure you can draw these guys out one at a time. It's been a while since I've redone my strategy for this map, but I'm pretty sure these guys don't even have linked AI. So you can just... Oops. I hate when that happens. Sometimes you have to be careful when moving your staff units. If you want to pair them up, you can't use like the... You can't use like the automatic option. You have to go like this and like manually pair them up, because otherwise they'll accidentally heal units that you don't want them to heal. Alright, let's get some staff rank on Maribel. Let's heal up Robin. Let's take our time to reposition. I'd like to get Sumiya as much of this experience as possible. Getting Sumiya to level 10 early will allow you to absolutely snowball like out of control. I'd also like to get sword rank with Robin, but that's a little bit more difficult. I think we can get Sumiya experience. I don't know if we can get sword rank on Robin or not. It could be tricky. Let's start moving our units up here in case we get into an emergency now. We control the entire south half of the map. Okay, now let's start examining the enemies. So this is the first guy we're going to draw out. He resists physical damage and he has counter, so we're going to want to fight him at 2 range with a bow. I think Virion is the best option here. So let's start moving Virion over. I'm going to pair Virion with Frederick. Don't do it yet. I'm going to wait to get the rest of my units over. And then on the following turn, I could potentially let Sumiya and or Robin get a kill. And then I also want my other units to be in position. Now, right here, I'm testing to see if the enemies in the middle will move, or if they'll stand still. I think they're going to stand still. How much do you hate the Robin water walking strat? People did, because Robin needs experience. I showed how to do it in my first video. However, on my main file that I'm using to show that Lunatic Plus is beatable, I did not use Robin water walking. So keep that in mind. You don't need to do it. You can do it if you want to. I don't care if people do it. It doesn't bother me. But I'm just showing that you do not need to do it. Like my main Lunatic file did not use the Robin water walking strategy, and it's in the same exact position that this file is in right now. The only thing I have left to do, really, is to, next week, I'm going to show a stream where I show people that you can beat this map without grinding. I did it with grinding. It increases the consistency. More or less, something very close to the same strategy that I used. I might have to adjust my strategy. I'm going to find out through trial and error. But a very similar strategy should be able to work. I should be able to clear this without grinding. Alright, so let's see what our Virion matchup looks like. 18, -2. This guy cannot kill us. Is there any way for us to get enough speed to double him? Actually, it would be possible if we did a speed pair up. But I don't think I want to do that. I just want to do attack power. So let's go like this. Do I want Frederick to dual strike? No, I actually don't. What I want is for Sumiya to kill this guy next turn. Okay. We might have to sandbag one more turn. 16. Because he has Pavis, we're only gonna deal around 4 damage to him at most, but we can actually do that. So let's do that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I heal to full if I stand here? Where's Maribel? Maribel is in range. I think we'll be fine if we go here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to use the extra point of movement that Frederick gives us because we want the archer to still be able to reach us. I'm going to heal to full just in case. Now this turn, the enemy is going to end up with very similar HP totals, but it's going to be lower. I think he's going to end up with lower HP because he can't heal himself up to full. Then we're going to move in and we're going to kill him. Let's get Lonku over here just in case we need him. Yeah, so that brings him down to 10. That's going to make him a lot easier to kill. The problem is, with him having 1-2 range and Nosferatu, we need to make sure whoever attacks him can offset the damage that he's capable of dealing. Oh, I really want... Why doesn't Robin have a sword? I'm very tempted to give this bronze sword to Robin, but it also means that I won't have any actions available from Sully if I need her to act. This should work. It won't. I don't think this will kill, but it might kill under the right circumstances. So let's do this. Get our bronze sword equipped. Go like this. I'm actually going to move out of the way so other units can attack if they need to. And oh, by the way, yes, I did confirm these enemies will not move. So they have separate AI. That'll be important to know on my no grinding playthrough. Okay, so now we're going to do 5 damage twice. This would kill him if not for Nosferatu, so if we dodge his Nosferatu, we'll be fine. Let me make sure we can't kill ourselves. 9 + 5 + 5 will not kill us. So yeah, we can't kill ourselves. We can kill him if we dodge Nosferatu or if we get a dual strike. We got the dual strike, which is good because we're also getting sword experience onto Robin. I want Robin to get sword rank. They haven't got as much sword rank as I wanted them to. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we're going to do about the next group of enemies. I tend to enjoy pulling out this guy next. The problem is he has counter, which is going to make that more difficult. I think because that guy has counter, I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to have to do... let's heal first. Because that guy has counter, I'm going to have to do something different from my normal strategy. So what's really interesting is that I'm using strategies that are very similar to my Lunatic strategies, but because of Lunatic Plus, I have to adjust them slightly. Like normally what I would do is... let me finish this level up screen. Okay, so normally what I would do, I would go into this range up here, I would use Sumia, I would fly up here to this range where only this guy would reach, and then I would fight this guy and I would 1v1 him with Chrom, Robin, Frederick, Lonku, like whoever I wanted, I would bring them over here and I would fight this guy. But because this guy has counter, I can't really 1v1 him. So what I have to do instead is use Frederick. We're going to stand here with no weapons equipped, and we're going to pull these enemies out. This guy will move because Frederick is now in his range. Even though he can't actually attack Frederick, Frederick is in his range. That's why he started moving. Excuse me. Neither of them have pass. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to block the sword guy. This makes it so that only the axe guy can reach me. Because only the axe guy can reach me, I can do this. Don't equip any weapons. And I'm going to pull him out. Now this splits up the enemies. So now, even though this guy has counter, I have split the enemies up in a way that I can fight them one at a time safely. I'll pull him out one more time. Let me make sure I get Sumia to safety. This guy can barely damage Robin at all. Let's put him right here. This will allow me to attack him from 3 angles. I could have had Mirabelle heal me if I had taken damage last turn. I didn't need to because I didn't take enough damage. Okay, now we have to kill this guy. We have to chip this guy down and then kill him. Unfortunately, my best chip character is actually up here. I should have put Sully with Frederick. That was a mistake. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's a little frustrating. I have javelin charges. Oh, no, I don't. Is Frederick holding it? I don't even have the javelin with me. Okay, what I need to do is to fight him with characters who can't kill themselves with counter. So this wouldn't work because Chrom would kill himself. Sully is probably a good option. Vake might also be good. Let me check. Vake won't work because the enemy will double me. Lonku probably won't work. I could use the Levin Sword if I have to. If I have to use the Levin Sword, I'll use the Levin Sword here. Lonku would kill himself. Sully should be safe. Either relatively or completely. She gave away her sword. Why did I not bring one extra sword with me? And what was the problem with Chrom? He would kill himself too, right? 31. If I could pair up with somebody who gave me more defense than they gave me attack, I could make this more consistent. I don't have any good options though. I think I'm gonna have to use the Levin Sword here. In order to do that, let's pair up with Lissa. Go like this. I really don't like using the Levin Sword before chapter 7. But because this is our file that we're going to be using for grinding anyway, I guess it's not going to be a huge deal, because even if we run out of Levin Sword charges, we can buy other items. Could you trade the Iron Sword from Chrom to Sully? I could, but so the reason I was taking so long trying to figure out what I wanted to do there is because, like let's say I have Chrom move over here and trade this to Sully. Now, Chrom has no actions available. So now, let's say Sully attacks and then Sully messes up and she doesn't kill the enemy. Now I have fewer units to work with because I've already used Chrom's action and Sully's action. So I was trying to do it in a way that only used one unit's action, which in this case was Lonku with the Levin Sword. I really don't like that I had to do that. It makes me upset. But this is our grinding file, so it's not a big deal. When I do the no grinding file, I'm not even going to bring the Levin Sword with me. If you're not grinding, you must preserve your Levin Sword charges for Chapter 7. It's essential. Chapter 7 and beyond. Okay, so now I can deal with this guy. I think I want Sumiya to kill him, so let's kind of start pulling him over here. Actually, hold on, let me do this first. Let's get a shiny spot with Fred. Gain 23 free experience. That's really good on a promoted character. Okay, now let's pull this sword guy out. Is there any other shiny spots? I think I got it earlier. Yeah, I got the other shiny spot earlier. Okay. Now let's see if there's a way for Sumiya to fight this guy. That's fine. Sumiya. 11 damage. We could actually attack him and then let him attack us, and then we'd still be completely safe. The problem is he has Vantage and Hawkeye, so anytime we attack him, he will hit us. He will guaranteed hit us first. So we have to be a little cautious about that. Bronze Sword will deal 9 damage. Alright, so let's do it this way. We're kind of done with Frederick here. What we're going to do is we're going to put him here, and then put Sumiya here. We're not going to attack this turn. I'm going to go like this. This allows me to put Maribel and Chrom nearby, in case Sumiya needs any support next turn. Perfect. We did not need that crit at all. We would have taken 2 or 3 turns to kill that guy. The crit means that it only took 1 turn. That's the only thing that crit did for us. That was a long chapter, but I think I've successfully demonstrated how grinding can be used effectively on Lunatic Plus without completely trivializing the game mode. And while we have access to this shop, I am going to buy my wind. I so badly need wind. Honestly, I'm going to buy 2 wind tomes. I need them so bad. It is crazy. I've needed them since chapter 2, and those guys just would not get out of the way. Alright, well, I think that I actually did way more on this stream than I actually originally intended to do. Let's go through our barracks. Let's, this actually might give us a support rank, because they already fought together a lot. That's an extra bonus support point right there. Let's see which supports we unlocked. We unlocked a good amount of supports. We did get Lonku Sully to B. Really good. That's going to increase their dual strike rate even more. It's going to increase their stat bonuses even more. Sully also got her Virian support. This is what I'm talking about. Stahl, there's no way Stahl would have done this. Stahl would not have a C support and a B support with 2 different units. At best, he might have a B support with Kellum. He would not have multiple supports with 2 very strong units. Lonku is very good. Virion is very good. Sully herself is very good as a support unit. Sumia and Frederick are building their supports. That's going to be very important in the upcoming chapters. Although sometimes I do like to pivot to Frederick Cordelia, but using Sumia is more useful in the early game because she's available. Cordelia is not available, so how could you use a unit that's not available? The Frederick Virion support you can actually get way earlier. I was very bad about managing my supports early on. You should actually have Frederick and Virion as C support before you get to Chapter 5. Either that or Frederick Sully. One of those two is good. The problem is I ended up using Sully and Long Ku for my opener, so Frederick Sully wouldn't have been as useful. Frederick Virion would have been actually useful. Alright. I am done. I have done as much as I can possibly do. This stream has actually went a lot better than I expected, especially, you know what I've been noticing lately is whenever I promote my content in places, it can be pretty hit or miss. Like sometimes new people will show up, but sometimes it will just be completely dead. And then on days like today or yesterday, where I don't even post the stream link anywhere, like a bunch of people actually showed up just from YouTube recommending them. Among those people are Some Oak, who stopped by earlier, and I know he liked the stream because he is based and he pressed the like button. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mike, for stopping by earlier. I don't think Mike stayed to the end today, but that's fine. He probably had stuff to do. Odd Panda's been here, chatting with me today, so that I was not chatting with myself. I'm going to keep saying that until I get to the point where I like consistently have like 10 viewers. I'm going to keep saying that because there is still, like every time I stream, there is always a chance that I'm going to be chatting with myself for 2 hours. It could absolutely still happen one of these days. Thank you, Aether, for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the Lunatic Plus showcase. I know you've been really enjoying this series. Thanks to Devin for stopping by as well. Thanks everyone for the suggestions and kind of helping me keep track of things and remember what I'm trying to do so I'm not forgetting my strategies that I come up with. Even though we did grinding today, we are going to do the no grinding version of this chapter on the next stream. And what's really important is that the trial and error, the experimentation that we did today, like figuring out which strategies work and like which stat benchmarks we need, all of that information is going to be valuable in helping us clear the run without grinding. And that's why I say grinding is okay in Lunatic Plus, because you can do a run with grinding, you can learn all the information that you need to know, and then you can use that information to beat the game without grinding. Thanks to Face Palmer for stopping by. Apparently not a fan of the game, but I'm glad that you found this stream at least interesting enough to watch, and I hope that you at least consider some of the things that I said, because I do think this game mode is very underrated. Honestly, I can't wait for my video to come out, because I think the video, when I'm streaming, I'm not as good at talking. I'm good at writing, I'm not that good at like improvising. So my streaming, like I'm streaming, I'm trying to explain something to you, I don't think I'm doing a very good job. The script that I wrote is much better written. It's going to be well edited, and it's going to make my points a lot more clear and a lot more obvious. So hopefully I can convince 5 people on this planet that Lunatic Plus is actually a valid game mode. It's very underrated, and it is worth playing. That might take me a while, it might take me a month, it might take me a year, it might never happen. People might still continue to say this game mode sucks, but I'm still going to enjoy it, and I'm not trying to convince other people that I'm right and they're wrong. What I'm trying to do is allow other people to enjoy something that I think is very fun, if they would just give it a chance. For now, Odd Panda says, you hope the YouTube gods bless my channel. I hope so too. They've been very cruel to me lately. My last video got very few impressions, but I'm not going to dwell on that. For now, enjoy the rest of your day.